A service of KIBMradio.com, the Internet's home for an all old-time radio.
And now, the Goldbergs. And now, the Goldbergs. Molly has been shuttling between her house and the railroad station all day today, trying to find out when Esther Miller will arrive. This woman out of Sylvia's father's past. This last element in Sylvia's cure, Mr. Train. And Sylvia's father is almost glad of it. 15 years ago, he didn't marry her because of Sylvia. And now, 15 years... 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 And now, 15 years later, Allyson is afraid to meet Esther again. Time, which changes all things, may have changed him too much. And perhaps Esther, too. But Esther arrived by bus and is at the Goldberg house this very moment as the Goldbergs and Allyson drive back from the railroad station, wondering if the woman will really come.
Jake, if you're nervous, so don't drive so fast. You know how beside myself I get, and then you drive past, darling. Please.
All right, Molly. You're sitting in the back first seat and let me drive.
Be careful, Papa. Be careful and don't turn around when you're talking. If you'll sit in the front and you'll keep your head and your eyes towards the front, I will hear every word anyway, darling. Please. You know I'm a nervous woman when it comes to vehicles. Please, dear. Please. Miss Allyson, if you wish, we can drive back to the telegraph office and find out what Miss Miller's telegram said exactly.
The telegraph office will be closed now. It closes after the late train comes in.
It's all right.
I'm sure because I'm certainly sure I understood the telegram exactly. The telephone's over the telephone, the telegraph office telephone, and I'm sure I understood what they said. It said Miss Train will be there by bus or...
It'll be all right. Maybe it's better. I'll call my daughter Leah tonight and tell her I'm coming home.
Well, why should you be so hasty, Miss Allyson?
Well, it's better. Better. If I stay up here much longer, I'm liable to do something very foolish.
Going away and then being afraid is also quite foolish.
Well, you're never sorry for the things you don't do.
Oh, how sorry you can be for the things you leave undone.
Molly.
I'm only saying, Jake, dear. Again, you're turning around your head. Please, Jake, darling. I'm getting nervous. I'm trembling already with the way you're driving the car. Please, dear. I'm only saying that Mr. Allyson had married Miss Miller 15 years ago.
Molly.
It was for Sylvia's sake that Mr. Allyson didn't marry.
Rosie.
I'm only repeating what Dr. Tate said. So don't repeat.
Dr. Cater is no prophet. So nice for you to say you're going home. But what are you going to do with Sylvia?
I don't know, Jake. I don't know.
Kate has said that...
I can't take her.
Sylvia won't leave Glastonbury as long as Dr. Cater is here.
He's not going to be here very long.
Then she'll follow him to New York or China. I know Sylvia.
And you are going to let her?
What can I do?
Maybe Dr. Cater knows what he's saying. Not maybe. I'm certain he knows. So, don't go away, Miss Allyson. Don't go away without seeing Miss Miller. Don't go back to South Carolina, please, until you see her. You called her. You went so far as to ask her here.
If she missed the train and she missed the bus, it's because she's as uncertain as I am. You don't miss a train or a bus unless...
That's what I say. Unless you want to miss it.
That's all right.
It's not all right.
Molly.
And I say it's not all right. And I say it's not all right. And I say turn around, Drake, please, if you're driving the car. Please. I say it's not all right. And I say this is not the way I wish everything to end. Not for Sylvia, not for you.
Molly.
Jake, dear, I'm talking. I'm talking. Up to this moment when I spoke for myself because it was Sammy I spoke for. Now I'm speaking to you for you and for yourself, Miss Allyson.
Allyson knows what he has to do.
Drive, Jake, please, and look to the wheel.
What do you want Allyson to do?
That which he should do. Go to New York himself if need be.
First he has to settle Sylvia. Then he has to go to Dr. Cater and say, Doctor, my daughter is in love with you. What's to be done?
Mr. Allyson don't have to tell Dr. Cater that Sylvia's in love with him. He knew it before it happened that it would happen.
Sylvia's not like everybody else.
Dr. KIBM knows that, too.
Allyson, take a fool's advice.
Why should he say? Why take a fool's advice when you can take advice from so many people who are not fools?
Who, for instance?
I didn't say anything. So go slowly. Samuel is raving, I think. It's Sammy.
Why is he running?
Something happened already.
Why, when anything happens, so something has to happen. Why?
So stop the car.
All right.
What is it, Samuel?
Mr. Allison.
What happened, Sammy? What's the matter?
Nothing happened.
So what is it?
Miss Miller is here, Mr. Allison.
Esther is here.
Oh, my.
Is Sylvia in the house? Did they meet?
Yes, they did.
Well, how did we miss her?
Well, she came part of the way by train and part by bus.
She must have taken the Blue Comet bus by the junction.
Oh, that's right. That's right. She must have taken the Blue Comet bus by the junction. Look how we didn't think of the Blue Comet by the junction. Look at that. I came myself from New York on the Blue Comet from the junction. Oh, my little Wren's
What's
family.
the difference, Ma? She's here and it's all right.
Yes, certainly. That I'm very glad she's here. It's all right.
Allyson, here is my comb. Fix your hair.
I'm all right.
How did we miss her? How?
Everything's all right, Ma. Miss Miller is sitting on the porch and she's comfortable.
Oh, that's
okay.
good. So come in the car, family dear.
All right.
So get in the car, family dear. Wait, she's sitting on the porch, huh? So we'll drive around the back way, and you get out of the car, Miss Allison, and you walk up the front way if she's sitting on the porch.
Right.
Yes?
All right.
Good. And
yes.
Allison, think of yourself.
Allyson, get out on this side.
All right, be
All
careful, Miss Allison.
All right. Here's your comb, Jake.
Thanks.
Stay there, Sporty. Stay there.
Hello, Albert.
I missed the train, and
I know.
but I'm here.
I guess it wasn't easy for you to get away. I know you're busy.
How are you, Albert?
I don't know. How are you?
Have I changed?
Anyway,
What way?
the way people change.
How do they, Albert?
You know, sometimes they get older without getting old. Are you surprised to hear from me?
Yes. Yes, of course. After all those years.
All those years. Too many years, maybe. Did you think of me sometimes?
Sometimes. Did you think of me?
I tried not to. But I did. I do. I am thinking. Looking at you, Esther. Those years don't seem to be long now. But they were long when they passed.
Albert, why didn't you call me before?
I felt I had no right.
And you feel you have the right now?
No.
Then why?
Things happened that gave me courage. But the right, I still don't have.
Albert, you know that you always have the right with me. When we separated then, it was with understanding, not wanting to, knowing we had to.
I was a fool.
No. The children came first.
Yes, because I was a fool. I put them first before your happiness and mine. I sacrificed their happiness because I kept none for myself. Well, I learned my lesson. And I blame myself for being the one who had to teach it and learn it for you.
Albert, I don't understand about the children.
You will.
I'm here now. And what does it mean?
That's up to you.
To me?
To you. It can mean what you want it to mean.
What does it mean to you?
What you want it to mean. It's up to you.
Speaking is difficult. Words are clumsy. And Allyson tries to speak without talking as Esther appears to listen.
Ladies and gentlemen, the story you are about to hear is true. The names have been changed to protect the innocent. You're a detective sergeant. You're assigned to burglary detail. You get a call from a citizen that a burglary is in progress. You know the exact location. Your job, stop it.
Dragnet, the documented drama of an actual crime. For the next 30 minutes, in cooperation with the Los Angeles Police Department, you will travel step by step on the side of the law through an actual case transcribed from official police files. From beginning to end, from crime to punishment, Dragnet is the story of your police force in action.
It was Tuesday, June 14th. It was warm in Los Angeles. We were working the night watch out of burglary detail. My partner's Frank Smith. The boss is Captain Bernard. My name's Friday. We were on our way back from a show up, and it was 11:47 p.m. when we got to room 45, burglary squad room.
You want to get started on the report?
Yeah, all right.
Well, I should be glad to get home. I'm tired.
Yeah. Here.
Thanks. You seen the new building yet?
What?
Seen the new building yet?
Yeah, part of it.
Yeah, sure is great. They thought of just about everything. Mm-hmm. That lab looks like something out of a movie.
Mm-hmm.
It's all steel, tile. Lee Jones is going to flip.
Well, it's going to feel to have all that room.
It's going to be great to have the lab in the same building anyway.
Mm-hmm. Burglary Friday. Yeah, that's right. What's that address? No, don't try to stop him. No, right. Goodbye. Get your coat.
Huh?
It's a burglary.
Yeah.
The guy's there now. Frank and I left the city hall, code 3. A few blocks from the place, we cut off the red light and siren. The address was a large drugstore located at the corner of Olive and Santee Streets. We parked the car in the middle of the block and walked the rest of the way. The store was dark when we arrived, but the front window had been smashed and the sidewalk was covered with broken glass.
Stay away from here. Don't go messing things up.
We're police officers.
Hello. I've been expecting you. I'm the one that telephoned you. I'm Arthur Muncie.
All right, sir. This is Frank Smith. My name's Friday.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Took you long enough to get here. The thief's gone.
Where'd he go?
He just took off, that's all. Took off.
Which way?
Down there. There, right down the street.
Do you have a car?
I don't know. I didn't see one.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if he did, he didn't drive it. He ran away. Down the street, you see? See? That way.
Now, how long ago did he leave?
Right after I called you. I come back here to keep an eye on him. He crashed through the window and took off. Running just as fast as he could. Down that way. The street.
What did he look like? Can you tell us?
Sure. I got a good look at him. Real good when he come out through the window. He kind of laid on the sidewalk for a minute, like he was hurt. Right after that, he ran off.
All right, sir. Now, if you give us the description.
Oh, you want it just the same as I give it to the other fellows?
Who's that?
The other cops. I give them a good one. I told them all about the thief.
Where are they now? Do you know?
They took out after him. They got in the car and drove off looking for him.
How long ago was that?
Right away. They drove away right behind the man. It wouldn't surprise me a bit, but what they caught him, they was right behind him.
Mm-hmm.
Now then, you want to know what happened?
That's right.
I thought you would. Well, I was on the way home to the movie down the street. I go there every Tuesday night. They got dishes, you know.
What's that?
Giving away dishes. I've been going since they started. Tonight was soup bowl night. Mm-hmm. Already got 5 of them. Tonight fills out my set.
Yes, sir. How about the burglary?
Hmm?
The burglary. Would you tell us about it?
Oh, yes. Well, because I get to talk and the back gets loose. You got to stay on the track.
Yes, sir.
Well, then, Now, yeah. Oh, where was I?
You were on the way home from the movie.
Oh, yeah. Well, I was just walking along. I got here by the drugstore, and I heard this noise. First off, it kind of scared me. I didn't expect it, you know.
Yes, sir. What was it?
The noise?
That's right.
Glass. A whole lot of glass being broken.
Mm-hmm.
I turned around, and right away, I knew it come from the drugstore. So I went over to take a look.
Yeah.
What do you think I saw?
I wouldn't know, sir.
Would I take a guess?
Look, mister, why don't you just tell us?
This fella was laying right on the floor, right in the middle of the floor, the glass all over. I guess he fell on one of the showcases. He sure broke it all up.
Mm-hmm.
Just laying there, not moving at all. Then, all of a sudden, quick like, he jumped up, and that's when he saw me, standing there looking right at him. He saw me.
Yes, sir.
Right off. I knew he didn't have no right in the store. I knew it right away.
Mm-hmm.
You know how I knew?
Yes, sir, I have an idea.
You?
No, I don't have an idea.
Well, then, the light wasn't on. No, sir, there wasn't any light on. So I knew he was a thief. That's when I went to call you.
Mm-hmm.
Use the phone booth there, see? Right across the street, able to keep my eye on the place all the time.
Yeah.
Come back here to make sure he didn't get out. And first, I thought the guy was gone. You see, I couldn't see him at all.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, then he came out from behind the counter back in the back of the place, and I could see he was hurt. Something was wrong with his arm. He held it kind of like this. See? Like there was something wrong?
Yes, sir.
He was trapped. No way to get out. With his arm hurt, he couldn't climb out. So what do you think he did?
Well, I wouldn't know.
Your turn.
Go ahead, will you, please?
Started running, come right at the window, running as fast as he could. Crash right through it. Broke clean through it. Landed here on the sidewalk. There, see? Right on the sidewalk. Glass all around him.
Mm-hmm.
Laid there for a minute, and then he got up and took off down the street. He was hurt, though, bad. I could see where he'd hit his head on the window, all cut up.
Would you know the man if you saw him?
Oh, you bet I would. I'd know him any place.
We'd like to have you come downtown, look at some pictures.
Sure. Anything I can do, you just name it.
All right.
I'd score to settle with that guy myself. I want to see you get it.
Yes, sir, we understand.
He'll be ashamed of himself. Whole thing's his fault. Never would have happened if it hadn't come crashing out that window.
What's that?
My personal reason for wanting to see you get him. He made me drop my soup bowl.
We got a complete description of the suspect, and a local broadcast on an APB were put out. Arrangements were made for the witness to be taken to the city hall to check through the mug books, and then Frank and I started to canvass the area. 12:20 a.m.
You think he made it?
I don't know. The way Arthur Muncie put it, he was hurt pretty bad. Couldn't get too far.
Yeah.
Want to pull up? Let's check that alley.
All right.
No, it doesn't go all the way through.
Mm-hmm.
Let's get out. I'll cover the far side. Good. How about it? All right, come on up. Come on, we can see you.
Clarence! I give up. Don't shoot!
Just stand there where we can see you.
I got my hands up. I'm not going to cause me trouble. I give up. Now, please don't.
All right,
shoot,
walk
please.
out here. Keep your hands where we can see them. I'll check them, Joe. All right, turn around. Put your hands against the wall.
All right, I'm doing just what you said. Just like you tell me now.
All right, he's clean. All right, turn around. Come on, put your hands back.
No, look, please don't put any handcuffs on me. Please don't. My wrist is broken. I can't do it. I can't.
All right, stand still. Put your hands behind your head and walk out toward the street.
All right. Get me a doctor, will you? I don't feel good. I think I hurt my head. No, I'm telling you the truth. You can see yourself. I think I hurt it.
Come on, keep walking.
I don't feel good. I got awful pain in my head.
Yeah, well, it's going to get worse. The suspect was taken to Georgia Street Emergency Hospital for treatment. We identified him as Leroy Ernest Finch, 27 years old. He had a record listing 2 convictions of burglary along with several misdemeanor arrests. His mugshot was shown to the witness, and we got a positive identification. After emergency treatment, Frank and I were able to talk to him.
How about it, Finch? Make a statement?
About what?
The burglary.
You guys are forgetting something.
What's that?
I'm the one who's sick. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't think about any burglary.
That's a nice try, Finch, but it's not going to work.
You better tell me what you're talking about.
We got a witness who saw you break into a drugstore tonight. He's willing to go to court with it.
Well, then you better get a new witness, because the one you got is all worn out.
Yeah?
Yeah, that's right.
How'd you get cut up?
A couple of guys tried to rob me. I didn't like the idea, and they put the screws to me.
You expect that story to stand up?
You got to prove it didn't happen.
We can.
Well, then be my guest.
Why don't you save us all a lot of time and cop out here?
Oh, that'd make things real easy on you, wouldn't it?
That'd help.
Well, it's too bad I can't go along with you boys, but I'm not going to carry a beef I didn't build.
You want us to believe that, don't you?
I don't care what you believe. I'm telling you the truth. I was mugged tonight. A couple of guys took my wallet, beat me up, and that's the way it is. There's nothing you can do to change it.
Yeah, we'll see.
Now, if I knew about any burglaries, I'd tell you there's no reason not to.
I can think of a couple.
Spell them.
You've fallen twice before.
I thought we'd get around to that. Well, you guys better take another look. You can't bring up my record in court. You're going to have to make this on your own, and I'm giving you nothing.
It's a little late, isn't it?
Huh?
You already have. That morning, the suspect was removed to the prison ward at General Hospital. He was reported in good condition and was expected to recover in time to stand trial. Frank and I worked with the district attorney's office in preparation of the case. A check of the drugstore by Harlan Stahl of latent print detail had turned a complete set of usable prints. Blood stains found on the floor of the place were of the same type as Finch's. Particles of cloth on the transom where entry had been made matched the suit the suspect was wearing. According to the district attorney's office, the case was complete and the conviction was assured. Thursday, June 16th, we attempted to re-question the suspect, but he was sullen and uncooperative. 6:47 p.m., Frank and I got back to the office.
How about something to eat?
All right, where do you want to go?
How about that taco place on Broadway?
Well, we were there yesterday.
Good food. Prices are in line.
I don't know. I think you could live on beans and tacos, couldn't you?
Sometime I'd like to try.
Yeah. I get it. Burgery Friday. How long ago? Right. No, we'll be right over. Your dinner's going to have to wait tonight.
Huh?
Leroy Finch.
Yeah?
He just broke jail. We left the office and drove over to General Hospital. An immediate warning had gone out to all officers in the city carrying Finch's description. As far as we knew, he was still wearing hospital clothes and wouldn't be too difficult to spot. We went up to the 13th floor and met with a guard who had been on duty.
I see you went out this way.
13 floors to the street.
Well, not easy to believe.
How do you make it?
Well, near as we can figure, he tore the bed sheets into strips, braided them together, worked at one of the bars until he could slip through. Must have looped the sheets around the other bars and lowered himself.
How far could he go that way?
2 stories. After that, he must have rested on the ledge while he pulled the sheets down after him. Kept going until he got to the street.
Anybody see him on the way down, do you know?
We're checking now. Not likely. If there had been anyone, they'd let us know.
Yeah.
Sure hate to see that guy on the loose. The way he talked, he's going to cause a lot of trouble.
Any chance he had help getting out?
No, he's the only one in the room. Didn't have any visitors. Door was locked.
You mention any friends in town? Anybody he might go to?
No, about the only thing he talked about was the beef against him. All the time saying that he was going to beat it. How he was going to blow your case sky high.
Yeah.
He was sure of himself. Said you'd never get him into court. He didn't have a chance.
Yeah.
It looks like he might have been right.
It isn't going to change. He hasn't beat it.
Yeah?
He just postponed it. For the rest of the night, the area was subjected to an intense search. All people in the vicinity were questioned. Cars going into and out of the blockaded section were checked. At 7:30 the next morning, a search was called off. Apparently, Leroy Finch had made good his escape before the warning had been sounded. For the next 2 days, Frank and I checked everybody listed in his package. Friends and relatives were placed under surveillance. All known associates and places he was known to frequent were checked. Word went out to informants for possible leads. Every step was being taken to bring Leroy Finch back into custody. Sunday, June 19th, we got word that Finch had been seeing a woman just before his arrest. Her name didn't appear in any of the reports. Frank and I drove out to see her.
I guess this is it.
Well, what about the back?
Oh, this is the only entrance.
All right.
I'll get the door.
Okay.
I'll try it again.
Yeah? Who is it?
Like to see Miss Wall, please.
Who is it?
Like to talk to you. It's important.
All right. Come on.
You think he's here? I don't know. Better be ready for him.
Yeah.
Come on up. What do you want to see me about?
You alone here?
No. Why?
You mind if we check?
No. Go ahead. Come on in the living room. What you looking for?
For police officers. You know a man named Leroy Finch?
Yeah.
Okay, Joe.
I could have told you that going in.
All right.
Sit down. I'll just have some coffee. Looking at the Sunday Funny.
Yeah.
You gotta excuse the way the place looks. I wasn't expecting company.
It's all right.
Want you a cup of coffee?
No, thanks.
How about you?
All right.
What do you want to know about Roy?
When'd you see him last?
Oh, let me think. This was a week, 10 days ago.
Not since, huh?
Uh-uh.
You heard from him at all?
No. What's this all about? What's Roy done?
It's all been in the papers.
Outside of the funnies, like it's been a blank. What's he done?
We want to talk to him.
Oh, like that, huh?
That's right. What do you know about him?
Nice guy. Good spender. We've been out a couple of times. Dinner, dancing, nothing special.
Mm-hmm.
Dress is good. Looks nice. Wears too much padding in his coat. Outside of that, he looks like something in a magazine.
Yeah. Where'd you meet him?
Cafeteria downtown.
Mm-hmm.
I was in there eating one night. The place was pretty crowded. And he came over and asked if it'd be okay if he sat at my table. I told him, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Finished eating, and we went out and had a couple of drinks.
How long ago was that?
Oh, let me see here. Just a couple of months.
You ever talk about any of his friends?
Hmm.
You know where he lived?
I don't think he had one place. Kept moving around. You know, one hotel this week, some other place the next. Just kept moving.
Where was he staying the last time you saw him?
I don't know. Some place down on Pico, I think.
You can't give us an address, huh?
No.
All right, Miss Wool. We'll leave you one of our cards. We'd appreciate it if you could call us in the event Finch gets in touch with you.
Well, sure. I hear anything, I'll call you right away. Oh, excuse me a minute, huh?
Go ahead. We can find the door.
Thanks. Hello? Uh-huh. Oh, yeah, just a minute. Mr. Gardy?
Yeah.
Your office. They want to talk to you.
Thank you. Friday. When? I'll be right over. Thank you very much, Miss Wool.
Don't mention it.
Let's go. Yeah. What do you got? They found Finch.
Yeah.
He's been hiding in a house in Highland Park.
You there now?
No, he left about an hour ago.
Whose place belonged to?
I don't know. If we want to talk to him, we better step on it.
Yeah.
He shot them both. Immediately for George Street Receiving Hospital, where the latest victims had been taken. We talked to the doctor in attendance. He identified the couple as Mr. and Mrs. Fred Gilner. They went on to say that both of them had suffered serious gunshot wounds. Mrs. Gilner had been hit in the left shoulder and the neck, while her husband had been shot in the arm and chest. The man was on the operating table at the time, but the doctor said we could talk to the woman briefly. Frank and I went into the treatment room.
Miss Gilner. Miss Gilner?
Yes,
We're police officers, ma'am. I'd like to talk to you if you feel up to it.
I guess so. I guess it's all right.
We'd like you to look at a picture and see if it's the man who shot you.
Where is it?
Right here. I'll hold it for you. This the man?
Hard to see it.
Do the best you can, please.
Yes. That's him. He's the one.
Can you tell us what happened?
How's Fred? Have you heard how my husband is?
We don't know yet, ma'am.
Shot Fred, too, you know. Shot us both.
Now, can you tell us what happened?
Came into the house last Thursday night. Came in.
Yes, ma'am.
Tried to rob us. Fred surprised him in the closet. Guess he was trying to steal some clothes.
It was Thursday?
Yes, at night.
All right. You can go on, please.
Had Fred's gun. Must have found it in the bureau. Had it pointed right at us. Kept waving it around.
Yes, ma'am.
Made us stay in the house. 3 days. Kept us prisoner. 3 days with the gun.
Mm-hmm.
Then tonight, Fred tried to get the gun away from him. There was a fight. Terrible fight. Him and Fred. Fight.
Do you want to stop, Miss Gilner?
No, not much more. He shot Fred. Cold blood. Shot him. Then me. Kept us prisoner, then shot him. Awful thing. Shot.
All right, Miss Gilner. We'll do what we can.
Yeah. That's the best thing, rest. The best thing.
You want to check the doctor?
Yeah. Excuse me?
Yes?
Where can we find Dr. Savin?
I think I saw him a couple of minutes ago. He went into treatment room number 3.
Sorry for going.
Yes, he's alone.
Thank you. Doc?
Oh, yeah, Joe. Frank, come on in.
Thank you. How'd it go?
Tough one. I think he's going to live.
That's good.
Hope he feels the same way.
What do you mean?
Bullet severed the spinal cord.
Oh.
He'll never walk again.
A check was made at the Gilner house, and their automobile was found to be missing. From papers in the house, we got a make and license number. A supplemental broadcast was gotten out carrying the information. The description of Leroy Finch was broadcast to all policemen in Southern California every 30 minutes. At the end of each transmission, the officers were warned that the suspect was armed and was to be considered extremely dangerous. Border stations were notified, and the checkpoints into Nevada were alerted. Bus and railroad stations were covered, and airline terminals were placed under surveillance. Roadblocks were set up on highways into and out of Los Angeles. If Leroy Finch was still in the city, every precaution was taken to prevent his escape. 36 hours went by without word. Tuesday, June 21st, Frank and I checked into the office.
I'll check the book.
So, Friday.
Yeah, I'm trying to reach you guys. Where you been?
We just got back from 77. What's the matter?
We better check with the skipper.
Huh?
That car Finch was driving?
Yeah.
They just found it.
The vehicle had been found by a motorcycle officer on a side street in the Hollywood area. As soon as he'd made sure of the identification, he'd notified Captain Bernard, and then he'd staked out on the car. 4 teams of officers had been dispatched to the scene, and a search of the area was started. Frank and I went down the hall to Chief Thad Brown's office, and we checked with Captain Bernard. He told us to leave for the scene immediately and take charge of the investigation. We went back to the squad room before leaving.
You want to sign us out?
Yeah. I got it. Burglary Friday. Oh, yeah. Speak up a little, can't hear you. What's that? No, I got it. All right, we'll be right there.
What do you got?
It was Hazel Roll.
Finch's girlfriend?
Yeah. He just walked in. We notified Captain Bernard what happened, and along with him and 2 teams of men from robbery detail, we left for the woman's address. The building was covered completely, and Frank and I went up to the front door.
Who is it?
It's Joe, honey.
Oh, Joe. What do you want?
Like to see you.
I'm kind of busy right now, Joe. Can you come back later?
Finch must be with her. Yeah. I'm leaving town. It won't take very long.
Just a minute.
Follow me up and take it easy. All right.
Hi, Joe. I didn't expect to see you.
Got a call from New York. Got to get back there right away. Thought I'd come over and tell you. Sorry about that date for tomorrow night.
Oh, it's okay. I understand.
All alone, huh?
Yeah, but I was just getting ready to go out.
Anybody I know?
I don't think so. Friends out in the valley asked me over for dinner.
Well, I sure wish I could keep that date tomorrow.
So do I.
Hey, I wonder if I could have a drink of water.
Yeah. Guess so.
I'll get it.
Here, I'll come with you. Here's a glass.
Thanks. Where is he?
Regan.
You alone?
Yeah. He's got a gun.
All right, you stay here.
All right, be careful.
Thanks a lot. Well, I'll be running along.
Okay.
All right, Finch, we know you're in the bedroom. Throw that gun out and you follow it. Come on, Finch, throw out the gun.
You come and get me, cop.
We can wait a lot longer than you can, Finch.
Well, let's see.
We'll take the building apart if we have to.
Go ahead. I'm not going to walk out of here.
All right, you called it. Frank?
Yeah.
Get downstairs, ask him to bring up the gas equipment.
Okay. Watch your face coming out.
All right, come on, Finch, get up.
Now, leave me alone, cop. Leave me alone.
Come on your feet.
I can't. I'm hurt. I can't get up.
You're not hurt that bad. It's just a shoulder wound.
I am, too. You don't. I'm going to die. I know it.
Come on, Jeff.
I'm going to die.
You're pretty sure of that, aren't you?
Yeah. I can feel it.
You got it wrong, Finch.
Huh?
It won't be that easy.
The story you have just heard is true. The names were changed to protect the innocent.
On October 4th, trial was held in Department 97, Superior Court of the State of California, in and for the County of Los Angeles. In a moment, the results of that trial. Leroy Ernest Finch was tried and convicted of burglary in the first degree, escape, a felony, assault with intent to commit murder, 2 counts, and grand theft auto, 1 count. In view of his past record, and because of the viciousness of his crimes, he was sentenced to life imprisonment in the state penitentiary without possibility of parole. You have just heard Dragnet, a series of authentic cases from official files. Technical advice comes from the Office of Chief of Police W.H. Parker, Los Angeles Police Department.
States Treasury Department presents Guest Star with Harry Sosnick and the Defense Bonds Orchestra, yours truly, John Conte, and starring Jack Webb. How do you do, ladies and gentlemen? This is John Conte, your host for Guest Star, a transcribed feature for Defense Bonds, presented by this station as a public service. Your maturing Series E defense bonds can go right on earning interest for you for as much as 10 years longer. If you don't need the cash right now, hold those bonds at interest and keep on buying more defense bonds through the payroll savings plan where you work or the bond-a-month plan where you bank. In a moment, we'll introduce Jack Webb. First, Harry Sosnick and the Defense Bonds Orchestra present Harry's own arrangement of the stirring Lady of Spain. Thank you, Harry. And now our guest, the popular young dramatic star of radio, motion pictures, and television, Jack Webb. He appears in an original guest star sketch entitled By Mere Coincidence. We take you now to Hollywood and Jack Webb.
My name's Christopher Adams. I'm 33 years of age, 5 feet 11, 172 pounds, black hair. I'm a salesman with Durham Industrial Supply. 2 days ago, I came to Washington, D.C. to wrap up some last-minute business before beginning a much-needed 2-week vacation. On the run from Washington, D.C. back to New York, that's where the whole incident began. The incident that almost cost me my freedom. A couple of minutes out of Washington, I
thought I could feel somebody standing next to the empty seat beside me. It was a fat man, expensively dressed. Before he sat down, he tossed his briefcase up next to mine on the bag rack. I settled my head back against the seat and started thinking about that 2-week vacation. Well, the train bell woke me up. We'd stopped. We were in Pennsylvania Station. The seat next to me was empty. The fat man was gone. I yanked my briefcase down from the bag rack and headed up the ramp to the cab stand. It was 11:30 when the cab dropped me off in front of my apartment building. I let myself into my room, flipped the light switch, tossed my briefcase on the bed, and that's when I saw him. The gold initials on the case. The initials J.G. The fat man had picked up my briefcase, and I picked up his. Well, in mine, there was nothing of real value, but what about the fat man? What did it contain? It might hold something very important. I had to get in touch with him immediately. I tried the lock on the case, and it snapped open. I took out the contents. First, a sheaf of papers that contained some kind of odd drawing sketches of some kind. And then my hand closed around the steel barrel of a gun. Well, the drawings looked like floor plans. A photograph that slipped out of the drawings told me what plans. Just a minute.
Mr. Adams?
Yes, I'm...
Check, please.
Well, what's going on here?
Comrade Gregor, he's here.
Yes. Yes, good.
Now, look, I don't know what this is
Close
all
the
about.
door, Maxie.
Yes, Comrade Gregor.
I see you have examined the contents of my briefcase, Mr. Adams.
Well, I was only trying to find out who the case belonged to.
Please, Mr. Adams. How well did you examine the contents? You know them well enough to go to the police?
Hey, now, look here. I don't know what you're talking about. All I did was...
Of course not. You're stupid. So stupid. You Americans make many heroics when the so-called chips are down.
No, let me...
Not here, Maxim. We waste time. Put the papers back in the briefcase.
Yes.
What are you trying to do here?
Good. In good time, you shall know, Mr. Adams. In good time. Ready, Maxim?
Yes, Comrade Gregor.
Good. Now, Mr. Adams, you will come along with manners, for I promise you a short ride. Shall we go?
Well, the fat man Gregor and his accomplice herded me out of the apartment, down into their car. At the curb, they put a blindfold over my eyes and told me to keep quiet. 2 minutes later, I'd lost all sense of direction. 15 minutes later, the car came to a stop. I was roughly guided up some squeaky wooden steps and ushered into a warm room.
Take the blindfold off, Maxim.
Yes, Comrade.
There. That is better, is it not, Mr. Adams? So, how do you like your new home for the next few days?
It's just fine. Now, look, what's this all about?
See, you are not stupid after all, Mr. Adams.
Well, I surveyed the room. There was a lone lamp on the table. The table that stood between Gregor and myself. Maxime was moving toward me. In his hand, he held a gun. Well, I thought it was now or never, so I made a pass at the table.
The lights! Get him, Maxie! Yes, Comrade!
I hit Gregor from behind. I heard him hit the floor. And then I caught the outline of Maxime against the window. I dived for him. I yanked his arms around behind his back and forced him around in front of me.
He's here, Comrade Gregor! He's here!
Maxime! Maxime! Where are you?
He's dead, Gregor.
Where are you? Speak again.
I got your partner's gun, Gregor.
Speak again, fool.
Oh, no. You're the fool, Gregor. When are you guys going to wise up? You're not going to rule the world. Doesn't your comrade know that? There are too many free men who love freedom.
Free men are simple fools who only know the simple things. Your speech bores me.
No, it doesn't bore you, Gregor. It hurts you. Destroy the free. That's your 5-year plan. Well, let me tell you something. For every free man you destroy, there'll be 2 more to take his place.
You're nothing but a hot-headed salesman trying to impress me with your schoolboy heroics.
You know, Gregor, I was just thinking. If I die here, I really got a lot more to lose than you.
Wait, Mr. Adams, there is no need for these heroics.
Nobody's trying to be a hero.
Let us have a part.
Yeah, sure. You guys are famous for your parleys, aren't you?
Wait, look. I throw down my gun. You heard it? You did the same.
Yeah.
Good. Now open the door so we have some luck.
Sure.
You fit this?
You didn't think I trusted you, did you, comrade?
I'm dying.
No, you'll live. I'm not that good a shot. Now, you're going to live. Wait till the boys hear that, huh?
Oh. Oh.
Yeah, Comrade Gregor. You're going to live. Well, I'm on my vacation. I'm enjoying the so-called simpler things in life. The beach, the sun, the cool drinks, and the pretty girls. Yeah, the simple things, enjoyed only by free men.
That was a fine performance, Jack Webb, as always.
Well, thank you, Ted. Of course, the same for you. And I enjoyed doing it, and it's especially nice to be appearing on a defense bond program again.
You picked a good time for your return appearance, Jack, because now you know defense bonds are a better investment than ever.
Yeah, I know that, Ted. I've always been a strong believer in defense bonds because they're a safe and sure investment. And with the new features, well, they're now even better. But the most important thing to me is the fact that bonds provide a perfect way to save, not only for your own future security, but for your country's defense as well.
Right. Defense bonds are now even better. Now defense bonds pay more interest and have a shorter maturity period. Two, we can all play a part in our country's defense effort by signing up for the payroll savings plan or the bond-a-month plan. Those two automatic plans that make saving easy and systematic.
Yes, these automatic plans make it possible to save before we spend, and that's important. So, friends, may I suggest that you sign up today for your country's defense and your own future security by enrolling in the payroll savings plan to buy defense bonds. There's no better investment in the world.
Thank you, Jack Webb. And now Harry Sosnick leads the Defense Bonds Orchestra in a musical finale, Johnny Green's unforgettable Body and Soul. You have been listening to Guest Star, a transcribed feature for defense bonds presented by this station each week as a public service. Our thanks to Jack Webb for a fine performance. and to his supporting players, Ted DeCorsia and Fritz Feld, and his director, Louis Graff. Next week, we'll have another favorite star and more good music by Harry Sosnick and the Defense Bonds Orchestra. So we hope you'll be with us. In the meantime, this is John Conte saying so long and reminding you that regular savings today means security tomorrow. Invest in defense bonds where you work or bank.
Chesterfield brings you Dragnet.
Put a smile in your smoking.
Buy Chesterfield. Smoother. Cooler. Best for you.
Ladies and gentlemen, the story you are about to hear is true. The names have been changed to protect the innocent. You're a detective sergeant. You're assigned to robbery detail. You get a telephone call from a woman who wants to see you. She says it's about her husband. She's afraid he's going to pull a holdup. Your job? Check it out. Listen. Listen to news of an electronic miracle. The greatest improvement in cigarette making in 30 years. It's the Accuray, and it's a Chesterfield exclusive. To you, it means cooler smoking, smoother smoking than was ever possible before. The Accuray electronically checks and controls the making of your Chesterfield. So, for the first time, you get a perfect smoke column from end to end. You'll marvel at the extra flavor that comes through. Yet, because this measurably better cigarette smokes more slowly, you enjoy a cool mildness never possible before. Yes, from the first puff to the last, your Chesterfield smokes smoother. Your Chesterfield smokes cooler. Chesterfield is best for you. Today, discover what modern science can do to increase your cigarette enjoyment. Change to Chesterfield and put a smile in your smoking. Look for the new Chesterfield carton. It tells you only Chesterfield is made the modern way with Accuray.
Dragnet, the documented drama of an actual crime. For the next 30 minutes, in cooperation with the Los Angeles Police Department, you will travel step by step on the side of the law through an actual case transcribed from official police files. From beginning to end, from crime to punishment, Dragnet is the story of your police force in action.
It was Wednesday, May 18th. It was cool in Los Angeles. We were working the day watch out of robbery detail. My partner's Frank Smith. The boss is Chief Detective Thad Brown. My name's Friday. I was on my way into the office, and it was 7:49 a.m. when I got to room 27A. Robbery.
Morning, Joe.
Hi, Bob. Well?
Well, what?
Good morning, Frank.
Oh, hi.
What's eating you?
Nothing.
Are you mad about something?
What would I be mad about?
I don't know, but you didn't say good morning.
I'm just not going over there anymore, that's all.
Over where?
The Talbots.
Who?
The Talbots, live down the street, sells real estate.
Oh, yeah.
We bought our house from him.
I see.
We got to be friends. At least his wife and Faye are friends. I never cared for him much myself.
Mm-hmm. What happened? Between you and him, did you have a fight?
I don't fight with people, Joe. You know that.
Oh, that's right.
I just found him out, that's all. Just found him out, the kind of a guy he really is.
Is that right?
Yeah. They use signals.
What?
Signals, him and his wife. Can you imagine that? They use them.
What kind of signals?
Different ones for different words.
Well, what do you mean?
When they play charades.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Well, that's too bad.
Had us over their place last night. Some other couples, too. About 8 or 10 of us in all. Yeah, 10. 5 on each side.
Each side.
Yeah, for the charade games. You played it, haven't you?
Yeah, when I was about 10 years old, we used to play.
Well, now, look, buddy, it's no kid's game. Not the way they play it.
Is that right?
Oh, they give you stuff to act out. Titles and quotations. You've never even heard of half of them.
Mm-hmm.
And to top it off, they got signals.
Yeah.
Noun, verb, little word, big word, person's name, letters of the alphabet. They got signals for all of them. You can spell something out. What's the point of the game?
Yeah. Beat you pretty bad, didn't they?
Huh?
Last night in the game, you lost.
That hasn't got anything to do with it, Joe.
No, I don't imagine.
Doesn't matter who wins or loses. It's the principle of the thing.
That's all it is.
Signals.
Yeah, I get it.
And they use them.
Robbery Friday. Yes, ma'am. Well, I don't know. What seems to be the trouble? I see. Yes, I guess we could. Where is that? Are they open this early? All right. Yes, ma'am, we'll be there. Goodbye. Lady wants to talk to us. Says she'll meet us at a bar out on Melrose.
What's it all about?
Her husband.
Yeah.
He bought a gun. Frank and I drove over to a small bar on the corner of Melrose and 8th. It was 8:23 a.m. when we got there.
Morning, gents.
Morning.
Hello?
What'll it be, a little eye opener?
Just coffee.
How about you?
I'll have a cup, too, please.
No, the plate isn't ready yet. I just finished putting it on.
That's all right. We're in no hurry.
There's a cafe right around the corner. They're open now.
Well, we'll wait.
Suits yourself. I guess you guys aren't like me.
How's that?
When I want my morning coffee, I want it right now.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know I'm awake until after I've had a couple of cups.
Mm-hmm. It's all right if we take a booth?
Sure. First one's all cleaned up. I haven't had time to get to the others yet.
All right. Thank you.
Looks like you got here first, huh?
Yeah.
Did she give you a name? Did she tell you her name?
No. No, said she didn't want to talk over the phone.
Oh. Joe.
Well.
Hi, Sally.
Hi. Give me a shot, will you?
Sure. Scotch?
Yeah, water back.
Okay.
Go ahead, mister. Take a good look.
I was waiting for somebody. I guess I made a mistake.
Yeah, you sure did.
I'm sorry.
A little later on, I might be interested, but not at 8:30 a.m. Getting worse all the time, ain't it? Gal can't even have a morning pick-me-up without some guy starting to move in on her. Well, here's looking at you, Mike.
Down the hatch.
Put on a tab.
Yeah, sure.
See you around.
Hey, your coffee's about ready.
All right, thank you.
Want cream and sugar?
No, black.
How about you?
Same.
Coming up. Don't pay no attention to Sally.
Yeah?
She must have got out on the wrong side of the bed today.
Mm-hmm.
Usually she's real friendly, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So just don't take it personal, huh?
That's all right. Forget it.
Too bad you guys came in so early. Long toward evening, we get a lot of action here.
We're meeting somebody.
Okay. Just telling you, that's all.
Mm-hmm.
Gosh.
Whew. Yeah, boy, that's hot, all right.
I think I burnt my tongue.
That's too bad.
Tomcat Bar, Mike speaking. Who? Well, I don't know. Yeah? Yeah? Okay, sure. Hey, one of you guys got a name sound something like Friday?
That's right.
Well, you're being stood up.
Huh?
She said to tell you not to wait.
Frank and I left the Tomcat Bar and we went back to the office. 10:17 a.m. An informant called with a tip about a grocery store holdup that had taken place the previous Monday. We interrogated a possible suspect, but his alibi checked out. The next day, Thursday, May 18th, 9:43 a.m.
Again. Robbery, Smith. Who? Oh, yeah, Smith. Joe, it's for you.
Okay. Friday. Yeah? Yeah, I remember. Well, we were there. Well, why don't you give me your name this time? No, I'm sorry. We'll have to have your name. Flint? F-L-I-N-T? All right, now look, Miss Flint, if this is some kind of a gag... All right, if you're sure this time. Right. All right. Goodbye. The woman again.
Hmm?
The woman who called yesterday morning?
Oh, yeah. What you want now?
Same thing. Meet us at the bar.
You think she's on the level?
I don't know. It sounds like it this time.
Why didn't she show up yesterday, then?
Says she tried, but she just couldn't.
Why not?
Said something about loving her husband.
Yeah.
When the chips were down, she couldn't bring herself to turn him into us.
Yeah, but she will now, huh?
Says she has to. She can't wait any longer.
Why?
Says it might be too late. 10:16 a.m. Frank and I left the office and drove out to the bar. When we got there was only one customer in the place, a small, dark-haired woman sitting in the corner booth.
Hi.
How are you today?
What'll it be, coffee again?
Yeah.
Okay, what do you want?
Well, we'll let you know.
Hmm?
That woman over there in the corner,
Yeah?
do you know who she is?
Don't think she's been in before.
All right, thank you.
Say, that reminds me.
Yeah?
Sally was around last night. I asked her about you.
Yeah.
Guess she had a change of heart. She's a pretty good kid.
Yeah. Miss Flint? Are you Miss Flint?
Yes.
Well, my name's Friday. It's my partner, Frank Smith.
Can we sit down, man?
I guess so.
You guys want your coffee over there?
Yeah, it'll be fine.
How about the lady?
Would you like something, ma'am?
I'd like a drink.
All right.
I'm going to need it.
What'll it be?
Oh, I don't care. Bourbon, I guess. Bourbon and ginger ale.
Lady wants a bourbon and ginger ale.
All right.
Does he know?
Ma'am?
The bartender, does he know you're cops?
No, I don't think so. We haven't told him.
Well, if anybody finds out I talked to you, if Rod ever finds out, well, I guess that just about washes up.
Rod's your husband, is that right?
Yeah.
Rodney Flint. Well, is that his name?
Well, not really. Not his real name.
Well, what is it then?
I don't know if I'm doing the right thing. I just don't know.
Mm-hmm.
He'd never understand. He'd say I was double-crossing him. Maybe I am. Maybe I...
Here you are. 2 coffees and bourbon and ginger.
What do we owe you?
That's $1 even.
There you go.
Okay, thank you.
4 years I've been thinking about it, living with it. 4 years I've been trying to make up my mind whether I should go to the police or not.
Yes, ma'am.
But things seem to be working out. He was doing so well, making good money. He's changed, too, honest he has.
Well, now, suppose you give us the whole story.
You married, Sergeant?
No, ma'am.
How about you?
Yeah, I'm married.
Well, tell me something, mister, and you tell me the truth.
What's that?
Suppose your wife got you in trouble. Suppose she squealed on you. What would you think of her?
Well, I guess it would depend on why she did it.
Oh, I've got a reason. Best reason in the world. I'm in love with him.
Yes, ma'am.
If I wasn't, I'd just walk out. If I didn't love him, I'd have walked out years ago.
Now, when you called us yesterday, you said your husband had bought a gun.
Yeah, that's right.
Do you know what he wants with it?
No, not for sure.
You got a pretty good idea, though, haven't you?
Has your husband ever done any time, Miss Flint?
Yes.
What for?
He stole a car.
Anything else?
Robbery. Supermarket back east.
Whereabouts?
Michigan. He used to live in Detroit.
How much time did he do?
7 years.
Did he come out free?
I don't know what you mean.
I'm sorry. Afterwards, was he on parole? Did he have to report to a parole officer?
Oh, yes.
For how long?
It was supposed to be 10 years.
When did he get out of prison?
5 years ago.
When did you come to California?
About a year later.
Did he have permission to leave the state of Michigan?
No.
Well, what made him leave then?
He just came home one day. Said he couldn't take it any longer. Said he was going to L.A. and that it was up to me whether I came with him or not.
Do you know if he's wanted for anything else beside violation of parole?
I don't think so.
You know, you still haven't told us his real name.
Frazee. Ralph Frazee.
All right, then it's Mrs. Frazee, huh? What about the gun?
Well, like I said, everything was going along pretty well. He's got a good job, and he's had 3 or 4 raises.
Where's he work?
Oil refinery. Pacific Crest Oil Company.
I see.
He likes the work. They like him, but the longer we live out here, the better things are. Well, that just makes him more scared.
Well, what's he scared of?
Oh, that somebody will find out who he really is, and that he'll have to go back to prison. If he just sees a cop, he goes all to pieces. He's sure they've finally caught up with him. Just a traffic cop, even.
Mm-hmm.
He gets worse all the time. Jumpy and nervous and, well, scared. That's the only word for it. He's been drinking a lot more, too, nearly every night.
Mm-hmm.
Then just last week he ran into a guy that used to be a friend of his.
Back in Detroit?
Yeah. This fellow knows all about him, that he's been in prison. And Rod's afraid... Ralph. I've called him Rod so long I keep forgetting that it isn't his real name.
Sure.
Anyway, he's afraid this guy will say something to somebody that'll all come out. It's just driving him crazy. So he bought a gun.
Did he say why?
He was pretty drunk night before last. That's when he brought it home. He mumbled something if he was going to go back to prison anyway, he might as well make it worth their while.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe he's planning another robbery, I don't know. I don't really think he would. But with all this drinking and being so darned upset, well, I don't know what he might do.
Where's the gun now, Miss Frazee?
At home. He hid it in the stove in the pan under the broiler. At least that's where he put it last night after...
After what?
Well, you see, he was carrying on doing a lot of talking, and he was holding the gun at the same time, waving it around, telling me how easy it'd be to go out and rob somebody.
Mm-hmm.
Said that way he could get enough money for us to leave the country and go to Mexico, maybe, where they'd never find us. Right in the middle of everything, the pistol went off.
I see.
It was just an accident. He wasn't pointing at anything. The bullet only went into the ceiling. I'm sure he didn't mean to pull the trigger.
Yes, ma'am.
But when he heard the shot, he acted like he was going out of his mind. He was sure the neighbors had heard it, too, and that they'd report it to the police.
What'd he do then?
Well, he dug the bullet out of the ceiling and got rid of it.
Mm-hmm.
After that, he just waited. Now, that proves he's changed, doesn't it? That he really isn't a criminal anymore?
Well, how do you mean that?
Well, he didn't run away.
Yeah.
He stayed there all night long, waiting. And he didn't keep the gun. He put it in the oven. He didn't have it on him. So there wouldn't have been any trouble even if the police did come.
Mm-hmm.
Gee, I kept praying that they would. Over and over, I prayed you'd come and find out who he is. He's got to go back to prison and finish out his sentence. I'm sure of that now. If he doesn't, I just don't know what'll happen to him.
What about you, Miss Frazee?
Me?
While he's in prison, what'll you do?
Oh, I can work. I did before. I'll manage.
Mm-hmm.
Miss Frazee, what time's your husband come home from work?
It's later and later since he started drinking. 9 o'clock, maybe even 10. He's never there for supper anymore.
Is there someplace else you can go this evening? Over to a neighbor's, maybe?
I suppose so. Why?
Well, it might be better if you weren't there when we pick him up.
But you can't. I mean, well, not so soon, not tonight. Does it have to be tonight?
Yes, ma'am, it does.
He'll know it was me, that I had something to do with it. He's bound to know.
We'll keep you out of it if we can.
What are you going to tell him? What kind of an excuse will you use?
Let's see what kind he has.
With a smile, with Chesterfield. Smoother, cooler, milder, Chesterfield. Put a smile in your smoking, just give them a try. Chesterfield's best for you. They satisfy.
When you shop, stop. Remember, vacation time is carton time. The cigarette to take with you is Chesterfield, made the modern way, with Accuray. Take along a couple of cartons and put a smile in your smoking. Chesterfield. Smoother, cooler, best for you. Remember, in the whole wide world, no cigarette satisfies like Chesterfield.
Put a smile in your smoking, just give them a try. Chesterfield's best for you. They satisfy.
Frank and I continued to talk to Mrs. Frazee. She agreed to be out of the house during the evening. She also gave us a description of her husband. She said he was WMA, 38 years old, 5'11", and he weighed about 170. She told us he had black hair, brown eyes, and a dark complexion. 11:27 a.m., we went back to the office. We ran the names Rodney Flint and Ralph Frazee through R&I. They had nothing on Flint. Under Frazee, we found a warrant from the state of Michigan for a violation of parole. The dates given on the warrant checked with what Mrs. Frazee had told us. We contacted the Pacific Crest Oil Refinery, and without stating that we were from the police department, we learned that a man named Rodney Flint had been employed there for the last 3 years. They said he was a steady, dependable worker. 6:32 p.m., we drove out to the address Mrs. Frazee had given us. It was a modest one-story home just off Santa Monica Boulevard. We parked across the street and waited for Frazee to return from work. 7:05 p.m. We saw Mrs. Frazee go into a neighbor's home 3 doors west. Frank and I continued to wait. 8:46 p.m.
Joe, across the street.
Yeah, he's turned into the driveway. Let's give him a minute. Let him get inside.
All right.
No, the lights are on now. Let's go.
All right. I don't see the bell.
Over there.
Oh, yeah. Who's coming?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah?
We'd like to talk to you for a minute.
What about?
We're police officers.
What?
Police. This is Frank Smith. My name's Friday.
I didn't send for no cops.
It's all right if we come in?
What do you want?
Just want to talk to you, that's all.
No, you do your talking out here.
Be easier if we were inside.
I ain't got all night.
Neither have we. This won't take very long.
Yeah, okay, come on.
All right, stand right
Hey,
there.
what?
Stand still.
What is all this?
He's clean, Joe.
What's your name? Come on, give us your name.
Flint.
First name, too.
Rodney.
You alone?
Yeah?
You live alone?
Our wife's out. She left me a note. Said she was going over to the neighbors to babysit for.
Mm-hmm. Were you home last night?
Yeah, I was home.
All night?
From about 10 o'clock on.
Did you hear a gun go off?
What?
A gun. Did you hear one go off?
Of course not.
Well, somebody did, and they reported it. Said it sounded like it came from this house.
Last night, she said.
That's right, Flint.
Oh, boy, what a police force. You cops ought to be real proud of yourself.
Yeah?
That's all you got to do, check up on some characters, been hearing things.
There wasn't any shot, huh?
Well, I didn't hear it.
I see.
Kind of late to be asking, ain't it?
We just got around to it.
Took a whole day, huh? Suppose you need a cop. What are you supposed to do, make an appointment ahead of time?
Are you sure about this, huh, Flint?
About what?
You didn't hear any gunfire.
I didn't hear nothing. There's a lot of traffic down the boulevard. Maybe a car was backfiring. Maybe that's what it was.
Do you own a gun?
Uh-uh.
You sure about that?
Well, I'd know if I had a gun, wouldn't I?
Is it all right if we look around?
What for?
Want to give your place a once-over?
No, it's not okay.
Oh?
I ain't gonna have you busting in here. Now, come on, go on, beat it, huh?
We can get a search warrant and come back.
Now, you listen to me, and you listen good,
Yeah.
huh? This isn't Skid Row, mister. This is my home. I own it. And you're not messing around a Main Street bum, either. I got a good job for a big company. They pay a lot of taxes in this town. They pay a lot of your salary.
Yeah.
My boss is a pretty important guy. He's got friends. So now you just take your little badges and move on.
All right, Flint, if that's the way you want it.
That's the way I want it.
Just give us one more thing. What are you afraid of?
I'm not afraid of anything, you guys especially.
You're sure not very anxious for us to look around. There must be a reason for that. Well?
Okay. Go ahead and search. It's no skin off of my nose.
All right, thanks.
Fat chance you'd have a find on something even if it was here. Dumb cops, it took you a whole day to get here, a whole day to answer one lousy crackpot call.
Well, don't forget.
Yeah?
It got answered. Frank and I began a routine search of the house. While Frank went through the 2 bedrooms, I took the living room and dining area. We found nothing suspicious. 9:42 p.m. We'd finished with the front part of the home, and we went into the kitchen. The suspect followed us.
Okay, if I fix myself a drink while you're messing the joint up?
It's up to you.
You guys want one?
What?
A blast. You want one?
No, thanks.
What about you?
No, thanks.
You don't drink, huh? You're not hurting my feelings.
I'll check the service porch, Joe.
All right.
You know, my wife's going to raise Cain when she sees what you guys have done to the house.
We're being as careful as we can, Flint.
Yeah, sure. Well, now, come on. How about winding it up, huh?
Just a couple of minutes.
Well, you boys really believe in wasting time, don't you? What do? Pay you by the hour?
There's nothing out there, Joe.
All right. I guess that takes care of it.
Yeah.
All right, come on. I'll be glad to show you to the door.
We'll find our way. Just a minute. Did you check the stove?
Huh?
The stove.
No, I thought you did.
All right.
All right, now what?
We forgot something.
Yeah?
Well, it looks empty.
What's with you? You think I'm cooking a gun?
Yeah, it's okay, Joe.
All right.
As soon as I get this pan back.
Hey, watch it there.
Grab him, Joe.
Wait a minute, Flint. You're not going anywhere.
Look, I don't know what this is all about. I never saw that gun before in my whole life.
Yeah.
I don't even know how it got.
Well, let's talk about it downtown.
Huh?
Come on.
But wait a minute now. You can't haul me in like this. What have I done? You got to have a charge. I know the law. You got to charge me with something. You won't find anything.
We found a gun. We drove the suspect down to the city hall, rolled his prints, and booked him in on suspicion of robbery. 11:06 p.m. We brought him into the squad room for questioning.
All right. Sit down over there.
What kind of a frame is this? Come on, how about let me in on it, huh? Who'd I rob?
You can forget about our robbery charge. I guess we made a mistake.
Well, that's what I've been telling you, eh?
We had to check the gun. We had to be sure.
All right, so now you know.
Yeah.
Okay, no hard feelings.
Sit down, Fraser.
What?
You heard me. Sit down. Maybe we were wrong about the robbery charge, but we came up with something else. A warrant from Michigan, violation of parole.
What about it, Fraser?
Well,
what do you want to know? You've got it, the whole story.
Why'd you leave Michigan? Why'd you jump parole?
Oh, what difference does it make?
Suppose you tell us about it.
I didn't have no choice.
Yeah?
I used to play around with some pretty rough boys. I got out of the joint. They're still in Detroit. Looked me up. You guys will think I'm conning you, but... Well, look, I wanted to go straight. They had different ideas.
Yeah?
So we came out here, Dorothy and me. She's my wife.
I see.
Well, you can check on me. I've been clean ever since. Ask the company. Talk to anybody about me. They'll tell you I'm clean.
Yeah.
That going to help back in Michigan?
No, that's not up to us.
Sure. I thought that was why they sent you to jail, so you'd learn something. So when you come out, you won't do it again.
That's part of it.
Well, I learned. What good did it do me?
Maybe you didn't learn enough.
Huh?
There's a law against an ex-convict having a gun.
Oh, you're going to stick me with that one, too, huh?
That's not up to us either.
Lousy gun. If it hadn't been for that gun, you'd never found me.
Well, it might have taken a little longer, that's all.
Sure, that's what did it. I don't know why it went off the other night. I thought the safety was on, just my luck. I never had a decent break in my whole life, not one.
Mm-hmm.
Well, is there any more you guys want?
No, I guess not. Not now, anyway.
It's all right if I call my wife.
Yeah, we'll fix it for you.
Wonder how she's going to take it.
I don't know.
I guess she'll stick by me. She always has. Through all the rotten breaks, no matter what. Yeah, she'll stick.
Well, you must have had one good break then, huh?
Huh?
When you married her.
The story you've just heard is true. The names were changed to protect the innocent.
On Thursday, May 25th, the meeting was held in the district attorney's office in and for the county of Los Angeles, state of California. In a moment, the results of that meeting.
Now, here is our star, Jack Webb.
Thank you, George Fenneman. Friends, discover for yourself what modern science can do to increase your cigarette enjoyment. Remember, Accuray puts a smile in your smoking. Enjoy a smoothness and coolness never possible before. Chesterfield, best for you.
In the interest of justice, and because of the suspect's good behavior record in Los Angeles, it was decided not to press charges against him for possessing a gun. Ralph Putnam Frazee, alias Rodney Flint, was turned over to Michigan authorities to serve out his previous sentence. He has since been released and has returned to his former employment in Los Angeles. You have just heard Dragnet, a series of authentic cases from official files. Technical advice comes from the Office of Chief of Police W.H. Parker, Los Angeles Police Department. Technical advisors, Captain Jack Donahoe, Sergeant Marty Wynn, Sergeant Vance Frazier. Heard tonight were Ben Alexander, Stacey Harris, Herb Ellis, Vivi Janis. Script by Frank Burt. Music by Walter Schumann. Hal Gibney speaking.
Watch an entirely different Dragnet case history each week on your local NBC television station. Please check your newspapers for the day and time. Chesterfield has brought you Dragnet, transcribed from Los Angeles.
This is it, L&M Filters. It stands out from all the rest. Miracle tip, much more flavor.
L&M's got everything.
It's the best.
Yes, L&M's got everything. Superior taste, superior tobaccos, superior filter. It's the Miracle Tip, pure and white. Buy L&M, America's best filter tip cigarette.
Hear Dragnet next week, same time, same station.
Tonight, hear a special broadcast, The Atom, Menace and Promise, on most NBC radio stations.
Sunday at 8:30, and CBS brings you Jeff Regan, Investigator, starring Frank Graham as Regan, with Frank Nelson as Anthony J. Lyon. So stand by for mystery and suspense and adventure in tonight's transcribed story, A Fire for Romano.
It started with a little man with deep wrinkles in his forehead and troubles on his mind. Then there was a kid traveling fast in a hot rod. And then there were two women. One who didn't deserve to die, but did. And another one who did deserve to die, but didn't. It was a sunny, healthy Chamber of Commerce Tuesday that I wandered into my boss, the Lyon's office. Got a surprise. No Anthony J. Lyon. Then I remembered he was on vacation. Yeah. This made it look like an even sunnier, healthier Tuesday. Let's see, the beach or the track or... That was before the door opened right behind me, and the aforementioned little man with wrinkles walked in.
Mr. Regan?
Huh?
You are Mr. Regan, the detective?
Yeah.
Please, Mr. Regan, I need your help. Could you help me?
I'm afraid I didn't get your name.
I am Romano. Elio Romano.
Well, sit down, Mr. Romano.
Thank you. What do you say, Mr. Regan?
Very nice fit. What? What's that? Oh, just the chair. Fits pretty good.
The chair fits?
Yeah, my boss is on vacation. I'm just trying out his chair.
I see.
Yeah. Suppose you tell me about your problem. You're needing help, Mr. Romano.
Oh, yes, Mr. Regan. It's true. I do need help. My store. It's my store.
Store.
I have a smaller grocery store. It's on the 6th Street. It's my own little store, and I'm very
Romano,
proud.
What about the store?
Oh, such a nice little place where people may buy food. We got everything, my Maria and I. We are the proprietors of this store. We also own it.
Fine. Now, what about...
It's called the Romanos. We have a big new neon sign. My someone is trying to destroy my store.
Now we're making headway. Tell me about the someone.
I don't know this someone. If I should get my hands on them...
Somebody breaks windows?
No. They tried to burn it down. They tried to burn my store.
When?
Last week, Thursday.
Did you call the police?
Yes.
And then what?
Well, they said there was an accident. They said I did this to my own store. Ma questa è una cosa che... Oh, mamma mia.
And you're sure it was no accident?
Mr. Regan, would I destroy the one thing Maria and I have given our lives to make? Would I so much as harm a single little glass window? No, I would not.
Where'd the fire start?
In the back room where the cans are stored.
What time of day?
Night. It was at night. My Maria and I, we sleep above the store. My Maria smelled the smoke, and together we put out the fire before the damage could become great.
Mm-hmm. That's the only time it happened?
No. The day before that, I found a light match in the waste basket. It was just as I was closing for the night. Well, I stopped this one very quick.
2 nights in a row. You're right, Romano. Doesn't look very accidental.
Oh, believe me, Mr. Regan, I would never do this to my store. Never.
Okay, Romano. I believe you. Suppose you and I run out there. Take a look. The little man with the wrinkled brow got in the car beside me, and we drove out 6th Street, past Alvarado, past Union. We parked in front of a small grocery store with a big neon sign over the door. Sign said very proudly, Romano's. And my client, Romano, glanced at it, nodded approvingly, and we walked in.
Oh, Elio, you're back safely.
That foolish woman. Of course I'm back safely.
And this is Mr. Regan, the detective.
See. Mr. Regan, my wife, Maria. You're a very foolish woman.
Elio, twice said too much.
How do you do, Miss Romano?
The pig of a husband. If you worry about him and he says so, he call you foolish. If you do not worry about him, he say you don't care.
Maria, Mr. Regan is going to help us. He promised he will help us.
You told him everything, Elio.
Maria, please.
Everything, Elio. You promised me you would tell Mr. Regan everything.
See.
Well?
Suppose you tell me, Mrs. Romano.
See, Maria. Suppose you tell me.
Elio. Mr. Regan, in the first place, you must know that we do not have much money.
See, very little, Mr. Regan.
In the second place, you must know we do not have many friends.
See, very few.
Now, we'll work out the money later, Miss Romano. Tell me about the friends now.
Maria, tell me.
We believe certain things, Mr. Regan. We run our business our own way, and no one can tell us otherwise. We believe in being our own boss.
Mm-hmm. That's why you have very few friends?
See, that is why.
Mr. Regan, please, come with me. Right away, I'll show you where the fires start. Please, come with me.
Romano led me into a small back room behind the counter. There were shelves filled with canned goods and paper cartons. He showed me the wastepaper basket near the door. Easy to toss a match in through the window above it that opened onto the alley. There were a few charred pieces of wood here and there, but very little damage had been done. Still, if everything Romano said were true, it didn't look like an accident. It was while he was pointing out the burnt wood that a customer came in the front door. I moved over toward the doorway and listened.
Well, we'll see about that when I tell my neighbors.
It was then that things began to get interesting. I looked out. Plump, smug-looking woman, carrying a heavy purse, her eyes glaring behind rimless glasses.
That's your idea, eh? To force as many people in here as you can? Well, there certainly must be some law against people like you.
Please, Mrs. Wilson.
I just wanted to make sure, that's all. And I must say I got what I came for.
What was that all about, Mrs. Romano?
Oh, Mr. Regan, you heard.
Maria, what has she said to you?
Quiet, Romano.
Mr. Regan is right, Elio. It was enough.
It didn't sound like nothing, Mrs. Romano. What'd she mean by tell my neighbors?
No, we will not talk of it.
See, we will talk of it. Mr. Regan, this woman, this is Mrs. Wilson. She used to be our best customer. Then she turned on us. She tells all her friends not to come to our store.
Why?
Why? Because who knows why?
Oh, you have started it. Now you will finish, Elio. She does not buy from us because we would not let her tell us how to run our store.
See.
That's all there is to it?
See.
When did this start?
A week ago.
Oh. Same time the fires started.
See, the same... But, Mr. Regan, you don't
You
think
hired
that...
me to think, Romano. I'll see you later.
Mr. Regan, where you going?
To talk to Mrs. Wilson. If I moved fast, I could find Mrs. Wilson. If I could find her, I could talk to her. She had answers, plenty of them. Plenty more than the Romanos gave her credit for. And then I saw her, a block away, walking fast. I followed. Around the corner, she turned up the walk and disappeared into a two-story apartment house. I was right behind her. The mailbox out front said 208, and when I got there, the door was just closing. A knock.
Yes?
Could I talk to you for a minute?
Young man, if you're selling
I'm not
something...
selling anything.
Then what do you want?
Just a couple of questions, Mrs. Wilson, about the Romanos.
Oh, so that's your game, is it? You're trying
I'm not
to tell
trying
me...
to tell you anything. We'd just better talk now, for your own good.
You go back and tell those people we don't want them around here. We don't want them in our neighborhood. Is that clear?
That's as good a place to start as any. Now we'll just...
Oh, no, you don't. You're not coming in without a warrant. I knew you were a policeman right away. They called you, those Romanos. Just like them to take advantage of our Constitution. But I know my rights as a citizen.
Lady, I
haven't broken any laws, you understand? It's them that cause all the trouble, them. And we don't want their kind around here. Now, good day.
So I had nothing after all. I got in my car, drove down toward police headquarters. And it wasn't that easy. Because behind me, starting at Alvarado, was a yellow Model A Ford, a yellow hot rod, and it wasn't behind me by accident. It stayed there 2 blocks, 10 blocks, 20. And whoever sat behind the wheel didn't care if I knew it. He stayed that way until we reached a block without traffic, and then suddenly the yellow car gunned up in the rearview mirror. And I could see a young kid hunched angrily over the steering wheel, and there wasn't any doubt about what a kid like that had on his mind or what he was going to do. He moved the car up close, next to mine, and yelled something angry kids yell, and suddenly his yellow coupe shot out ahead and cut into me. Like I figured. He tried to run me off the street onto the sidewalk. And now the yellow coupe was just a blur in the distance. I pulled out from the curb, eased into gear, and took my time driving to the police station. The police told me to check with the arson squad. The arson squad told me to check with the sergeant. And to make a rotten day just that much rottener, the sergeant turned out to be a guy I knew, named Bowles.
All right, what do you want, Regan?
Transferred from homicide, Bowles?
I don't need any of your lip today, Regan. I'm busy. What do you want?
You handle the Romano investigation?
Romano? Who's that?
It's the poor guy who happens to own a grocery store.
Romano. Yeah, I checked it out last week.
Find anything?
Sure. Scared little guy ought to watch where he tosses his matches.
That's all you could find.
When I want your advice, I'll ask for it.
Give, Bowles. I'm busy today myself.
Times must be tough, Regan? You're taking a fee from a poor...
Answer me, Bowles.
Okay. The guy had a fire. Know what caused it? Matches. Know the total damage? $10. Now, Regan, if you think we got enough men to stake out a 2 big...
Ever hear of putting out a fire before it starts, Bowles? You wouldn't have heard that.
I told you we haven't got enough men, Regan. Sure, we'd like to prevent it. Okay. But you need men, Regan. We haven't got them.
Okay, Bowles. What have you got?
There's no evidence of outside work.
Meaning what?
No evidence that anybody else started it, Regan.
Spell it out, Bowles.
Sure, I'll spell it out. Maybe somebody did start the fire on purpose. You know who gained by that, Regan? No, don't guess. Let me tell you. A character named Romano.
Bowles, if you think...
I didn't set it up, Regan. Somebody else did. For your information, this client of yours, Romano, has his grocery store well covered. You know what they call it, Regan? Fire insurance. Lots of fire insurance.
And that's what I got from Sergeant Bowles. I left the station, drove down to a chop house on 3rd Street, had myself a big dinner, and tried to think. Only it wasn't that easy. Ideas would fit together during the salad and go to pieces during the steak. By the time I got to dessert, it was anybody's guess. I paid the blonde waitress and drove out 6th Street, watching the street lights go on and hoping one of them would shed some light on the problem. But when I got past Alvarado, I didn't have time to think. I stepped on the gas, drove faster, into streets becoming crowded, alive, into confusion and fire engines, into shouts and smoke. A man in a fire helmet directed me over to the side of the road, and I parked and got out and walked into the excitement and confusion and heat, and into a sweaty, curious, open-collared, open-mouthed, hot-eyed, staring mob, and there were shouts all around me. Hey, Joe. Hey, Edna. Hey, Pete. Come take a look. Romano's, the grocery store, burning down.
This is CBS, and you are listening to tonight's adventure with Jeff Regan, Investigator, entitled A Fire for Romano.
A little man named Romano had hired me to find out who tried to burn down his grocery store, and I'd met an irate customer, an overworked cop, and a kid in a hot rod. Now I was back on 6th Street, back at Romano's little store, and there was a mob of excitement-hungry people yelling and cheering and shouting, while flames licked up the store walls and around the big new neon sign Romano had proudly shown me. And I was moving into the mob, trying to get closer, when a big burly man covered with soot and sweat shoved me aside.
Hey, stand back, will you please, mister?
Have you seen the owner?
Too many people to see anything, mister. Out of my way.
The big fireman moved on, and I followed him, letting him clear a path through the spectators, and up ahead, I could see another big man. This one I knew.
Stand back there. Oh, Regan.
Rand, have you seen Romano, the owner?
What's he look like?
A little guy. Dark hair,
Out
mustache.
of control, Regan. I haven't seen anybody. Better...
Fire Chief Rand's shouts were lost in the crowd behind me as I moved and shoved and pushed my way around to the side of the burning grocery store. Somewhere in there was my client, Romano, and his wife, Maria. And then, stumbling out through the smoke, came a fireman. And he was dragging a man, a little man, coughing, spitting, screaming. It was Romano.
Easy. This is the man you were looking for, mister.
Maria, let me go, please. Let me go.
Romano, it's me, Regan.
Let me go in the name of God. Please let me go, Maria. I must get to my Maria.
Yo, take him, mister. I'll go back for her.
Right, I got him.
Regan. Mr. Regan, where is she? They left for my Maria.
Take it easy, Romano. They'll get Maria.
They must have saved her. I'm going to get to Maria. I'm going to get...
I pulled the little man away from the smoke and heat and people and stretched him out on the pavement. In a few minutes, his breathing became regular and the coughing stopped, and he slept. And 10 minutes after that, the big fireman came out with Maria and placed her on the pavement beside her husband. Only Maria wasn't coughing or breathing. She was dead. The ambulance took Maria and Romano away. The fire hissed steam where the firemen's hoses poured gallons of water. And soon even the crowd had lost interest. And only the hissing steam and smoke filled the cavity that had been Romano's grocery store. Fire Chief Rand came over to me.
Did you find him, Regan, that man you were looking for?
Yeah, Rand. I found him.
He okay?
Yeah, he'll be all right. Not his wife.
Oh, sorry to hear that, Regan. We did the best we could.
I know. Rand, what started it?
I was just checking. So far, nothing conclusive.
You think it was an accident?
No. Went too fast. This one was planned, Regan.
Pyromaniac.
I'm not too sure. The nuts usually stick around. Watch it. They get their kicks that way.
Check the crowds?
We always check the crowd. Nothing certain yet.
Okay, Rand. Thanks.
Regan, when you see Romano, tell him we did our best.
I left Rand examining the charred scraps of what was left of Romano's grocery store. I walked down the street thinking, putting the twos with other twos and trying to make fours. And then I saw something up ahead, and I forgot about the twos and fours and moved faster. It was a yellow Model A Ford parked 3 blocks from the scene of the fire, sitting quiet, docile, far from the nearest streetlight. I got to it, started to look in. It was the car that had tried to run me off the street. It was...
Get away from there, mister.
I turned, saw a kid. The kid who'd driven the car into me. In his right hand, a revolver.
Come on, get away from it.
You like guns.
They get me things. Come on.
You also like matches.
Shut up.
You also like killing people.
Right!
He blinked when I said killing, and I drove across the sidewalk at his knees, and we went down together, rolling on the pavement and digging for the gun. And it was anybody's weapon until I felt the cold steel of it pressing between us. Saw the barrel moving up under my chin. Heard the report. Kid was gone. And I was holding a sticky, damp spot above my left ear, and when I pulled my hand away, it too was sticky and damp. I got up, rocked unsteadily on my feet, stumbled down to my car. I reached for the ignition, pushed the starter, and decided to wait. Voices and faces. And voices and lights and a big blank wall to stare at. I waited, not being sure, and then I opened my eyes and the blank wall was the ceiling and the face was Sergeant Bowles. Who said it was just a scratch?
Lay down.
What's going on around here?
Said lay down. You want to hurt something or something?
Bowles, your humor stinks. Where are we?
Georgia Street receiving.
Huh?
Only why Rand had bothered.
Rand brought me here.
He found you in your car. You were out. Way out.
Romano. Is he okay?
Yeah, he's okay.
His wife, Maria. Does Romano know?
Yeah, he knows.
Bowles.
Yeah?
You still figure Romano burned his own store down?
Shut up.
Like you said, Bowles, who would gain but Romano? Who, Bowles, who?
Okay, so I was wrong, okay. We did our best.
After the crime. What did you do before it happened, Bowles?
Slow down, Regan. You're racing your motor. Besides, suppose you answer a couple of questions.
Okay. Just ask me. Bowles asked me, and I told him. And he folded his notebook and he walked out. I got up, checked my legs and the bandage over my left ear, glanced down the hospital corridor, and walked out. 30 minutes later, the cab let me off where I'd last seen that yellow coupe, and I began to check garages. And the first one I checked was behind the apartment building where Mrs. Wilson lived. And I got nothing. 30 minutes after that, I'd covered her side of the block and was on the last apartment across the street. 4 garages, side by side. First Chevy, second Dodge, third Ford. Not a new one. It was a coupe like the yellow one I was looking for, only this was black. Shiny black. Shiny black. That was worth something. I moved into the dark garage and looked closer at that Model A and reached out and touched the shininess and brought my finger back fast. Sticky. Wet. Newly painted.
What are you doing back here?
Short, fat, with a flashlight beam in my eyes.
Come on, speak up. What's your business?
Turn off your light.
Not a chance, mister. I'm on
I
you.
said turn it off.
Hey!
Whose car is this?
None of your business.
I said whose car?
This is my property, mister. You...
Stop!
It ain't my place to give out information on my tenant.
Oh, the owner lives in your apartment?
Well,
Does he?
Well, I rent that garage, mister. $5 a month.
But the guy who owns the car doesn't live here?
It ain't no guy, mister. Woman pays the bill.
A woman. A plump woman, wears rimless glasses.
Yeah.
Her name's Wilson. Mrs. Wilson.
Hey, that's...
Thanks.
Hey, you ain't got no right to ask me questions.
I moved around the building, across the street, double time. Double time up the stairs, up to the place I'd been earlier in the afternoon. It was late now, very late. But whether she liked it or not, Mrs. Wilson was getting a caller. I leaned on the buzzer, stayed on it. And midnight or not, Mrs. Wilson was going to answer if it took me home.
What's the meaning of this? The very idea... Oh, it's you. Well, see here.
I'm coming in, Mrs. Wilson.
I won't have this, you. I'm calling the manager. That's what I'm going to do.
I'm coming in, Mrs. Wilson.
You policemen have no right to disturb peace-loving citizens.
I'm not the police, Mrs. Wilson.
You're not the police? Well, investigate.
Not this time.
Get out of my house, do you hear? Get out of
Shut
my...
up.
And what do you want?
Your son. If he is your son.
You're playing crazy. My son is out of town.
Really?
He's been gone since yesterday. He's visiting his aunt.
That right.
He left on the train for Santa Barbara. That's where my sister lives. Tommy left yesterday morning.
Tell me about Tommy.
He's a good boy. There's nothing he's done wrong. He's... what right have you got?
What right have you got covering up a murder?
Murder?
Sure, murder, Mrs. Wilson. When your kid set fire to Romano's store, somebody was killed. The law can call that manslaughter, Mrs. Wilson, but you and I know it's murder.
You're lying. You're making...
Why, Mrs. Wilson? That's all I want to know. Why? Why did you knowingly let your kid set fire to that store? What kind of a distorted brain...
You shut up! What those people got, they deserved. We don't want their kind in this neighborhood. We've got our rights.
Who's we?
Citizens. Real American citizens.
Oh, Romano's not, is that it?
There's no place here.
I think I'll just look around, Mrs. Wilson.
Where are you going?
Look around. Something brought this business to a boil.
You stay out of there!
Ah, I wasn't going in. But since you made a point of it. Kitchen.
You get out of here.
Now, why would you care if I looked in your kitchen, Mrs. Wilson? Interesting. Very interesting.
You've got no right to come in
Coffee,
here and...
sugar, soap, lots of it. Let's see. Say about 2 dozen cans of coffee. A couple of cases of soap. And there's the sugar there.
I paid for it. It's my right to buy what I want. Romano can't tell me
so
what I'm
that's it.
supposed...
Romano tried to tell you how much you could buy.
No dirty, filthy foreigner is going to tell me what I
That's
can...
right. You're an American. A real patriotic American.
Right.
The Constitution says you've got a right to buy as much as you want any time you want. You've got your rights. Remember, you're telling me that.
So I'll thank you to keep your nose
Your
out
kind
of my
belongs
business.
behind bars, Mrs. Wilson.
What?
Your kind can't eat off the same table with Romanos. Your kind belongs out back in a pig pen, where you can wallow in your soap and coffee and sugar and greed.
How dare you?
Get back with the pigs, Mrs. Wilson. Somebody left a loophole in the Constitution.
Why?
Stand right where you are, mister.
Well, that makes it complete.
Oh, Tommy. Oh, my Tommy.
I thought I stopped you once, mister.
Oh, he said such horrible things, Tommy. He said such terrible
I won't
things.
be saying much when I get through with him.
When you get through with what?
Oh.
Haven't you killed enough for one night?
Killed?
Mrs. Romano's dead. Dead from the smoke and flames and hate your mother cooked up.
Oh, no. I wasn't going to kill her.
Sure, just a little fire. Burn them out of the neighborhood. It's your mother's idea.
Oh, Tommy, don't let him talk to me that
Sure,
way.
they always start that way, just a little hate. But it builds, doesn't it, kid? Starts with a fist, ends up with guns, lots of them.
But, Tommy...
I didn't mean...
Go on, shoot, kid. Make the neighborhood safe for Americans. Your mother's kind of Americans. Kind that breeds hate and greed and gets fat doing it.
Tommy, make him stop.
Shoot, kid. Go ahead, prove she's right, that you can kill because you're special like she is.
Tommy!
Give me that gun.
The gun.
Gun. Thanks. There must be something in the Constitution that fits you, Mrs. Wilson. And there was. Murder, arson, whatever you want to call the crimes of Mrs. Wilson. You might say she was fighting for a fifth freedom. The freedom of grab. And she won. The right to spend the next few years grabbing the bars of her own private cell. The next morning, I checked in down at the office of my boss, Anthony J. Lamb. Empty. Anthony J. on vacation. Way up in the mountains, breathing fresh air, living the hard, rugged life. Fishing, hunting, getting next to nature. And doing good. Thought about that as I sat down in his big swivel chair. Anthony J. Lyon, Detective Bureau. Regan speaking.
I have a long-distance call for Mr. Jeffrey Regan from Mr. Lyon in Mammoth Lakes, California.
Okay, I'm Regan.
The call is collect. Will you accept the charges?
What else? Okay, operator.
Jeffrey! Is that you, Jeffrey?
Lyon, how's the fishing?
What's that? Oh, terrible connection. I can't hear a thing.
I said, how's the fishing?
Fishing? Oh, yes. Fine. Wonderful. Spend every minute out on the lake. Open air. Exercise. Just a minute, Jeffrey. Certainly I'm in for $5. Deal, Charlie. Yes, really roughing it, Jeffrey.
Yeah, I can tell.
Yes, generally fine weather. Just what I needed. All this outdoor exercise. Pardon me, Jeffrey. These fishermen keep asking advice. I've got aces over queens. Sorry, gentlemen. My part again. That's why I called you, Jeffrey.
Fish biting that good, huh?
Biting? I've never seen so many suckers, fish in my life. You practically have to fight them off. Jeffrey, this exercise is doing me so much good.
Yeah, Lion.
Do you mind if I stay another week?
Jeff Regan, Investigator, is written tonight by William Frug, produced and directed by Sterling Tracy, and stars Frank Graham as Regan with Frank Nelson as Anthony J. Lyon. Original music is by Dick Arad. Jeff Regan, Investigator, is heard transcribed each week at the same time over CBS. Bob Stevenson speaking, and inviting you to be with us again next Sunday at 8:30 for more suspense and mystery and adventure with Jeff Regan, Investigator. This is CBS, the Columbia Broadcasting System.
Ladies and gentlemen, the story you are about to hear is true. The names have been changed to protect the innocent. You're a detective sergeant. You're assigned to homicide detail. A night watchman has been stabbed to death in a downtown appliance store. There's no apparent motive for the killing. No lead to the suspect. Your job? Find him.
Dragnet, the documented drama of an actual crime. For the next 30 minutes, in cooperation with the Los Angeles Police Department, you will travel step by step on the side of the law through an actual case transcribed from official police files. From beginning to end, from crime to punishment, Dragnet is the story of your police force in action.
It was Monday, August 8th. It was warm in Los Angeles. We were working the day watch out of homicide detail. My partner's Frank Smith. The boss is Captain Lorman. My name's Friday. We were on the way out from the office, and it was 8:26 a.m. when we got to the corner of 7th and Ducommun Streets. Bentley Appliance Company.
Sure, a big place, huh?
Yeah.
There's somebody coming.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, what do you want?
Police officers.
Oh, yeah, just a minute. Come on in.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
I guess it'd be a good idea if I locked the door again, huh?
If you'd like to, yes, sir.
Good idea. There, now, it's all secure. My name's Ralph Bentley. I'm the one who put in the call.
This is Frank Smith. My name's Friday.
How you do?
How you do, sir?
Where's the body?
Oh, back here in the stockroom.
Who found him, Mr. Bentley?
Our building superintendent, Curtis Holman.
Is he here now?
Yeah, he's upstairs.
All right.
I suppose you'll want to talk to him.
Yes, we will.
Oh, I'll get it.
Go ahead.
Oh, thanks. Oh, over here. It's behind these packing cases.
Uh-huh.
Well, you can see there he was stabbed.
Yeah.
Oh, sure a mess, isn't it?
Yeah. What's his name? Mr. Bentley?
Hmm?
The victim's name?
Oh, Clyde Maddock.
M-A-T-I-C-K?
I-K, no C.
Mm-hmm. What time was the body discovered?
It must have been about 7:30. That's when Holman comes to work.
Did he find it right away?
I don't know. I haven't been able to get him to say much. When I came in, he was just standing here looking at the body. He was kind of numb, you know.
Mm-hmm. What time did you get here?
Must have been about 7:45. That's when I called you, wasn't it?
Yes, sir, about that time.
Yeah, that's when it was, and 7:45.
How long has this Maddock worked for you?
Oh, 3 years. Almost 4.
Has anything in here been disturbed?
Not that I know of. I don't think Holman touched anything. I couldn't talk to him very much, but I'm pretty sure he knows enough to leave things alone. Well, I sure can't understand it.
What's that?
Well, take a look around. It doesn't look like there's a fight. Does it look like it to you?
No.
Well, that's it.
What do you mean?
Well, it stands to reason it was somebody he knew, some stranger. There'd be signs. He wouldn't just let somebody come up and stab him in the back, now, would he?
Doesn't seem likely, does it?
Well, in the 3 years he's been with us, I've never heard anyone say an unkind thing about Maddock. Not one. Man didn't have an enemy in the world.
Well, that doesn't mean much.
Hmm?
One of his friends didn't like him then. 8:30 a.m. We put in a call to the crime lab and asked them to come out and go over the scene. The manager led us upstairs to the main offices, and we met the building superintendent, Curtis Hallman. He was a small man in his early 50s.
I don't care how it looks, Mr. Faraday. I didn't do it. You got to believe that. I didn't have anything to do with it.
Now, nobody says you did, Holman. The officers just want to ask you some questions.
Well, I don't want them to think I killed him. I don't want them to think that.
What time did you find the body?
I guess it must have been around 7:30, someplace around in there.
Mm-hmm.
You see, I just come in, locked the door after me, and then I was going to come up here and change my clothes.
Yeah?
I got my own closet down there in the hall. My own closet.
Yes, sir.
I was coming back, going upstairs, and I saw him just laying there. Right away, I knew he was dead.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't have to have nobody tell me that. I knew he was dead.
What'd you do?
Nothing. Couldn't.
What's that?
Couldn't do nothing. First time I ever saw a dead man. I don't know. Just stood there and looked. First time.
Yeah, that's where he was when I came in.
Yeah, I was just there. You see, I didn't kill him. Wasn't me. Somebody did it, but wasn't me.
All right, Holman, all right.
Now, we're friends, Clyde and me. Friends.
I guess I should have told you he doesn't mean any harm.
We understand.
Played cribbage once in a while in the morning. Me and Clyde played cribbage.
Was there anybody else in the store when you got here, Holman?
Huh? You talking to me?
Yes, sir. Did you see anybody else in the place when you got here?
No, just me and Clyde. Only he was dead.
How'd you get in?
Got a key. See, right here. My own key.
How many keys are there, Mr. Bentley?
Oh, it's 3 out. I got one, Holman has one, Maddock had the other one.
Mm-hmm. Have you contacted his family?
Hasn't got one. As far as we know, he hasn't got any people.
You can give us his address, though, can't you?
Well, sure, no trouble at all. He lives upstairs.
What?
Part of the deal we worked out when he started. A little room on the 3rd floor. He gets that and a salary.
Real nice way he fixed it up. All painted bookshelves, a lot of books. All over the place, books.
Wonder if we could see it.
Certainly.
You like it. Real nice room. Nicer than mine. Wish I had it.
We can go down this way.
Want me to go up with you?
Yes, sir, if you'd like to.
Sure. I like Clyde's room.
Be faster if we take the stairs.
All right.
Here we are. All right, go ahead.
Thank you.
I guess Clyde had about every book printed. Great one for reading.
That so?
Oh, yeah. All time had his face in the book. All time reading.
Uh-huh.
Smart. Knew all kinds of things. Just asked Clyde a question and he knew the answer. I was all the time telling him he should go on the quiz shows. He'd won them all. Knew the names of all the presidents, when they was elected, all about them.
Is that right?
It's right down this way.
All right.
I used to sit there and look through the books. Didn't make much sense to me, but Clyde sure liked them.
All right, Holman. I'm sure the officers know what you mean.
I'm just trying to tell them, that's all. Tell them about Clyde.
Sure. Oh, this is it. Oh, it's locked.
You have a key?
No, I don't.
I got one. Got it on the ring. You want me to open the door?
If you would, yeah.
Sure thing. Glad to help you. Find the right one now.
Here, you drop this.
Why do you have a key to the room?
Clyde gave it to me. Said it was all right for me to have it in case I wanted to clean up. He let me do that. Clean up.
All right. Well, do you have the key?
Yeah. Here it is. There you are.
Hey. Sure looks like there was a party in here.
Yeah.
Certainly didn't have any idea things like this went on. Oh, just look at this room. Beer bottles all over the place, glasses, empty bottle. This place is filthy.
I was going to clean it up, Mr. Bentley. Honest I was. Right after I finished with the rest of the building, I was going to clean it up.
14 beer bottles, all of them empty. Boy, I don't see how a man could drink that much beer.
Looks like he had some help, though.
Huh?
What you got?
Take a look at these glasses.
Yeah.
Lipstick.
Don't touch them.
I'm sorry. Boy, that really does it. That's the capper.
Sir?
Oh, when he took the job, I made it perfectly clear. No mistake about it, none at all.
What do you mean?
Beer drinking, I don't mind. He's got that right. But I told him there wasn't supposed to be any women up here.
No.
He knew it. Doesn't look good. Place of business just doesn't look good.
Yeah.
I told him if he broke the rule once, just once, he'd be sorry about it. That's what I told him.
He's got no quarrel about it now.
Huh?
He's sorry.
The
crime lab arrived and started to go over the room. After photographs had been taken, the body was removed to the county morgue. Apparently, the victim had died of internal hemorrhage caused by 3 deep stab wounds in the back. He'd been dead about 36 hours. From questioning the other employees of the store, we were able to find out a little about the victim's background. All of them knew him as a quiet man who kept pretty much to himself. We asked about the women friends. They couldn't help us there either. The questioning continued.
As far as I know, there wasn't anybody.
You ever mention any friends to you?
No, we didn't talk much. I didn't see him a lot. You know, he'd be in the halls or something like that, but we didn't talk much.
Is there anything more you can tell us that might help?
I don't think so. If I think of anything, I'll let you know.
All right. Thank you very much.
Is that all?
Yes, ma'am.
Well, sure getting us nowhere.
Yeah. Let's have the next one, huh?
All right. You come in now, Miss Lask?
Yes.
It's Cora Lask, is that right?
That's right.
My name's Smith. This is Sergeant Friday.
I do.
How are you? Like to sit down?
Thank you. Guess it's about Mr. Maddox, huh?
That's right.
Awful thing to have happen. I work in the office, almost right under his room. Kind of gives me the creeps to think about it. A little creepy.
Did you know him very well?
Yeah, I guess you could say I did. I went to lunch with him a couple of times, even had a couple of dates. Not flower-type dates, though.
How's that?
He didn't bring flowers.
Oh, I see.
We met after work and went to dinner. Nothing serious.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know any of his other friends?
Oh, just about everybody in the place. Wasn't anybody that wasn't friends with Mr. Maddox. Everybody liked him.
Is there anybody special?
You mean like a girlfriend?
That's right.
I don't know. Maybe it was Bessie.
Who's that, Miss?
Bessie Rowan. Her and Mr. Maddox were pretty friendly. You ask me, I'd say might even have been serious.
Mm-hmm. You work here?
Yeah, stockroom clerk, head of the department.
I see.
Pretty important job. Got charge of all the ordering.
Yeah. You ever been in Mr. Maddox's room?
I know you're just trying to do what you think is right, Mr. Friday. But I don't like what you're getting at.
No offense, Miss Lask. Just a routine question.
Oh, the answer's no. I told you. I just went out with him a couple of times, that's all.
I see.
You remember that?
Yes, ma'am.
Is Miss Rowan here this morning?
No, she isn't. It's a funny thing, too.
What do you mean?
It's not like her to miss a day's work. Long as I've been here, she never done it before. Always here, always on time.
Mm-hmm.
That's why it's so funny. She called this morning and said she wouldn't be able to make it.
She say why?
Not really. Kind of talked around it, you know. Matter of fact, I didn't think she had a real reason for not coming in.
How was that?
The way she acted. Say, you don't think it had anything to do with Mr. Maddox, do you?
I wouldn't know.
I'll bet that's it. She knows something. That's why she's not coming in. That's the reason.
It's possible.
More than that, she knows something. I'll bet you on it. Bet you anything.
No, I wouldn't be too fair.
Huh?
We'd like to see you win. We checked all of the employees of the store through R&I. Except for 2 drunk arrests for the janitor, Curtis Hallman, there was no record on any of them. We tried to contact Bessie Rowan at her home, but she wasn't there. The neighbors were unable to tell us anything that might aid us in finding her. We asked them to notify us in the event she returned. At 12:46 p.m., an unidentified woman called the Bentley Appliance Company and asked for the victim. She was told that he was out and was asked to leave a phone number where she could be contacted. Frank and I checked with the phone company and found that the number was assigned to a public phone booth in a downtown department store. We drove over to the place and talked with one of the clerks.
Yes, it seems to me there was a woman by the phone booth.
Can you give us a description of her?
Not a very good one, I'm afraid.
Mm-hmm.
Well, anything you can tell us might help.
See, there is one thing, though.
What's that?
Might not mean anything.
Well, what is it, ma'am?
Her hair.
Yeah?
Real red. About the brightest red I've ever seen. Had to come from a bottle. Never saw any natural hair that color.
All right.
Does that help you any?
Well, we don't know yet.
Oh, I didn't think it would. Just something you remember. Something kind of outstanding.
Mm-hmm.
I just thought of it. Figured it might be a way for you to remember if it's the one you're looking for.
Well, if it is, we've got another way. 4:35 p.m. Frank and I went back to the city hall and checked into the office. There was a note in the book for us to get in touch with Sergeant J. Allen at the crime lab. He just finished his preliminary examination of physical evidence and wanted to go over his findings with us.
Back here, Joe. Frank?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, how'd you do?
Not bad. Here, take a look.
Yeah?
These are the beer bottles we found in the room, 14 of them. They're clean. Able to lift 3 good prints from one of the glasses, though.
Enough for identification?
You come up with a finger.
Not enough for classification, though.
No.
Anything else?
I went over the room with a vacuum cleaner. Found this in the couch.
Earring.
Yeah. Imitation stone, mounting's gold filled. Nothing else on it.
Mm-hmm.
Any way of checking where it was bought, Jay?
It'll be pretty hard. Costume, jewelry, a lot of places make it. Even more than that seller.
Yeah.
Found this handkerchief on the floor under the couch.
No monogram. Any laundry marks?
No. Went over it with ultraviolet. There's nothing there.
Is that it?
Well, lipstick marks on the glasses. We lifted them. Might be able to use them in identification.
Yeah.
You come up with a motive yet?
No. No, as near as we can tell, there wasn't anything stolen from the store. The victim had $36 in cash on him. Expensive watch, ring. None of it was touched. You got any more for us, Jay?
Well, couldn't find the murder weapon. Wasn't in the room. We checked the rest of the place. Couldn't turn it.
Any idea what it might have been, Jay?
A sharp instrument, probably a pocket knife, 3-inch blade. Oh, one more thing. Not sure about it, though.
Yeah.
Here, I'll get it. Take a look.
What do you got there?
Hair. Found them on the victim's jacket. No way of telling how long they'd been there.
A human?
Yeah. Whoever they belong to shouldn't be too hard to spot.
What do you mean?
Bright red.
We left the crime lab and drove over to the Bentley Appliance Company. We went up to the second floor and talked with the secretary again, Cora Lask.
Sure, I can give you a description of Bessie. No trouble at all.
Have you heard from her today?
Not since this morning. I told you about that. You know, how she wouldn't be in.
Yeah.
That's the only time.
Now, about the description. What color hair does she have?
It's a blonde color.
Dark or light?
Kind of in between. I guess that's the reason she fixes it up.
How do you mean?
Touch-up. Usually a sort of strawberry blonde, I guess you call it.
Uh-huh.
Last time she did it, I guess it was a week ago. She had an accident.
Well?
With the dye. She did something wrong. Sure looked funny.
How do you mean?
But it turned out wrong. Embarrassed her all over the place. Everybody was making cracks about it. She said she was going to redo it first chance she had.
Yeah.
I kind of laughed myself. It was pretty hard to imagine.
What's that?
That color red hair.
We returned to the office and filled out the reports. At 6:18 p.m., we got a call from one of the suspect's neighbors telling us that she'd returned home. We drove out to talk to her.
Yeah?
Bessie Rowan?
That's right. Who are you?
Police officer. I'd like to talk to you.
Well, I haven't got anything to say to you. It's not going to do me much good, though, is it, huh? Is it? You're going to take me down to poke you anyway, aren't you? Aren't you going to?
Might be better if we talk to you inside.
Oh, well, then. Come on in. Ain't no difference where we talk. And I bet you ain't going to believe me anyway.
About what?
That I didn't kill Clyde. You ain't going to believe me, are you?
Why don't you tell us?
All right, I will. What do you think of that, huh? What do you think of that?
You alone here?
No, I got 3 or 4 friends hiding in the closet. They usually don't come out this early, though. Wait until it gets dark. That's when they like it, when it's dark.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you want me to tell you now, huh? Do you?
About what?
About Clyde. How he's dead. You want me to?
Why don't you try?
No matter what I say, you're going to believe what you want to, so it'd probably be easier if I went along with you, wouldn't it, huh?
Might be.
Okay, then. I killed him.
6:23 p.m. We continued to talk to Bessie Rowan. Frank went out to the kitchen and made a pot of coffee. After we'd gotten several cups down, Miss Rowan, she sobered up and was able to answer our questions.
I didn't mean it. I wasn't feeling very good. I guess that's why I said it.
Did you see him Saturday night?
Yeah.
Where?
After work. Met him. We went to the place on the corner, had a couple of drinks, and then I came home.
Ever been in his room?
What you mean, as a company?
Yeah.
Guess it wouldn't do any good to lie about it. Yeah, I've been there.
When?
I don't know. I guess the last time was a week ago. Somewhere in there, had a couple of drinks.
How'd you and Matty get along?
All right, we didn't set the world on fire.
How'd you know he was dead?
Heard it.
Where?
I'd rather not say, like somebody in trouble.
You got a good-sized piece of that right now. Why don't you tell us?
Friend of mine. I called this morning.
That's how you found out?
Yeah. I guess his friend wasn't supposed to say anything. As soon as she did, she told me not to say anything.
What time did you see Maddox last?
I guess it was about 7:30. Right after we came out of the bar, he walked me back to the parking lot, and I came home.
Anybody vouch for that?
No.
You can prove it then, though.
Maybe they changed the laws, huh?
What do you mean by that?
I always thought you had to prove I was guilty. They done away with that?
No.
Then start proving.
All right, get a coat and we'll go downtown.
You gonna book me?
We'll see.
Gotta make a charge, don't you?
If you want it that way.
Never mind. I'll get a jacket.
Where is it?
Bedroom closet.
You want to show me?
You don't trust anybody, do you?
Let's get the coat, lady.
That's the one.
Okay. Here you are.
The gentleman would hold it.
Yeah. All set?
Yeah, I guess so. You turn off the coffee?
Yeah, I think so.
You better be sure. I'm not going to come home and have to clean a burned coffee pot.
Oh, don't worry about it.
Huh?
You might not be coming home. The woman was taken downtown to the city hall. Her fingerprints were taken, and we checked her name and description through R&I once more, but we failed to come up with a record for her. 8:15 p.m. While I talked to her in the squad room, Frank went down the hall.
You're going to let me go home.
As soon as you tell us the truth.
I've told you everything I know. It's all you're going to get.
Joe. Yeah. Here it is.
What's that? The solution to the case?
It might be. It's a report from latent prints.
Yeah?
Your fingerprints match with the ones we found on some glasses in his room.
What does that mean?
You were in his room.
I've already admitted that.
You told us you weren't there Saturday.
So he's a sloppy housekeeper.
Now, we talked to the janitor. He cleaned the room Saturday morning. The glasses weren't there then. How about it, Miss Rowan? Make it easier if you give us a statement. Come on.
All right, I was there, but I didn't kill him, and that's the truth.
Go ahead.
After we left the bar, he asked me to come up and have a nightcap. I did.
Yeah?
We had some stuff to talk over.
What?
We wanted to get married. We talked about it before. There was something hanging him up. I don't know what it was. I told him we couldn't go on like that anymore. It had to be either one way or the other. Either we'd get married or else we'd call the whole thing off.
Yeah.
He asked for a couple of days. Said he'd clean up whatever the trouble was by then.
Yeah?
I told him to go ahead. That's all. Had a couple of drinks and then I left and I came straight home.
What time did you get there?
About 10. Maybe 10:30.
Why'd you lie to us?
I don't know. I was drunk. You saw that.
Yeah.
I got scared. Figured sure you'd think I did it.
Did Maddox have any other girlfriends?
I don't know. We didn't talk about it.
Did he mention anybody else?
Yeah, I guess. A couple of times he talked about some girl that was giving him trouble. Called him at work, you know, on his back. Told me he was trying to get rid of her.
Possible she might have been the reason you couldn't get married?
Yeah, might be.
You know anything about her?
No, we didn't talk much about her. A couple of times he'd be hacked because she'd called the store, made a big scene. Said she was usually gassed. She was a real lush, way he put it, drunk most of the time.
Mm-hmm.
Funny, though. She didn't go for hard booze.
Huh?
Just drank beer.
On the chance that the empty beer bottles we'd found in the victim's room had been bought in the neighborhood, we began an immediate canvass of the liquor stores in the area. We gave the dealers a description of Clyde Maddox, and we also asked if a woman had purchased 14 bottles of beer. In the first 5 stores, we drew a blank, but the clerk in the 6th told us that he had made such a sale on Saturday night to a woman. He was unable to tell us who she was, but he did say that he'd seen her several times in the neighborhood bars. We started to check them. Several bartenders knew the woman, but were unable to tell us her name or where we could find her. At 12:20, we stopped at a place called the Pink Pigeon.
Yeah, I know her. In here all the time. She's a beer drinker.
You know her name?
Let me think. Yeah, Gladys something. I don't think I ever heard the last part. Wouldn't make me unhappy if she didn't come back.
What do you mean?
Well, she's all the time tanked, loud, dirty mouth. Chick like that doesn't do the place any good.
You know where we can get in touch with her?
What's the matter? She done something?
We'd like to talk to her.
Well, sure. I didn't mean to stick my nose in where it don't belong.
That's all right. You know where we can find her?
I don't know. I guess her place would be as good as any.
Well, where's that?
Couple of blocks up. It's a brown house, second from the corner. You can't miss it. Just like her, a real mess. There's weeds all around. It's a brown house.
All right, thank you.
I'm glad to help out. I've been saying for a long time she was going to end up in real trouble. Been saying that for a long time. I've been telling everybody.
Uh-huh.
They didn't believe me.
Well, they will now. We left the bar and drove over to the house the bartender had described. There was a light on in the front room when we got there. The name on the mailbox read, Mrs. Clyde Maddock.
Yes?
You Miss Maddock?
That's right. Who are you?
Police officer.
Come on in. I've been expecting you. Wait a minute, I'll get a coat.
That's all right, I'll get it.
You kind of surprised me.
How's that?
I kind of figured you'd find me before this. Didn't think it'd take this long.
Did you kill him?
Yeah. He wanted a divorce. I wouldn't give it to him. Wanted to marry some floozy where he worked. He wouldn't give me a chance to work things out. I tried to convince him he was wrong. I told him if he tried to leave me, he'd be sorry. I tried to convince him. He wouldn't believe me.
Well, maybe he does now. Let's go.
The story you've just heard is true. The names were changed to protect the innocent.
On December 16th, trial was held in Department 97, Superior Court of the State of California, in and for the County of Los Angeles. In a moment, the results of that trial. Gladys Markham Maddock was tried and convicted of murder in the second degree and received punishment as prescribed by law. Murder in the second degree is punishable by imprisonment for a period of from 5 years to life in the state penitentiary. You have just heard Dragnet, a series of authentic cases from official files. Technical advice comes from the Office of Chief of Police W.H. Parker, Los Angeles Police Department.
Ladies and gentlemen, the story you are about to hear is true. The names have been changed to protect the innocent. You're a detective sergeant. You're assigned to Bunko Fugitive Detail. A man tells you he's been taken for a large sum of money. He thinks it was a swindle. Your job, run it down.
The documented drama of an actual crime. For the next 30 minutes, in cooperation with the Los Angeles Police Department, you will travel step by step on the side of the law through an actual case transcribed from official police files. From beginning to end, from crime to punishment, Dragnet is the story of your police force in action.
It was Monday, September 12th. It was hot in Los Angeles. We were working a day watch out of Bunko Fugitive Detail. My partner is Frank Smith. The boss is Captain Gideon. My name's Friday. I was on my way back from communications, and it was 2:17 p.m. when I got to room 38. Bunko Fugitive.
Oh, hi, John.
Oh, yes. I get it. Bunko Fugitive, Friday. Yes, that's right. Mm-hmm. Well, when'd you see him last? Well, how much was it? How much? Mm-hmm. All right, sir. We'll be here. Well, right away if I were you. All right, fine. Fellow's coming in to talk to us.
Yeah?
Says he gave a friend of his $40,000.
Oh.
Kind of broke up their friendship.
What do you mean?
The guy skipped out. 2:42 p.m. The man who had telephoned came into the office. He told us that his name was Jeff Craner. He said he had a real estate business on Wilshire Boulevard and that his home residence was on Rossmore near Olympic. He also said that on the previous Tuesday he had given $40,000 to a man who called himself Philip Bonham.
You know where this fellow Bonham lives, Mr. Craner?
I know where he used to live.
Where's that?
Our apartment out in Westwood, real fancy, beams, ceilings, lots of glass, swimming pool, the whole works.
He's not there anymore, huh?
Well, manager of the building says he moved last Tuesday, the day I gave Phil the money.
Who's they?
Phil and his brother had the place together.
What's the brother's name?
Steve.
Does the manager have any idea where they went?
Well, claims they didn't leave any forwarding address, just shoved off.
How long have you known the Bonhams, Mr. Craner?
6 or 8 weeks.
How'd you happen to meet up?
Through a friend, a mutual friend.
What would you tell us about it? Well,
it's not going to come out, is it? Newspapers, anything like that?
What do you mean?
Well, you see, I'm married.
Yeah.
Now, we haven't been getting along so well for the last year or so, but I'm still married.
Mm-hmm.
The way I met up with the Bonhams, you see, it was through a girl.
Yeah. What was her name?
Barbara Wist.
Who's she?
Oh, just a girl, that's all. Maybe she was in on it, too. I don't know. Anyway, she introduced me to him.
About how long have you known her?
The 3 months, maybe, a few weeks before I met them.
I see.
We got acquainted at an auction. One of those houses out on Beverly Boulevard where they sell off furniture and things from movie stars' houses.
Mm-hmm.
Used to spend a lot of my free evenings at those auctions. Wasn't any point in staying home, not my wife feeling towards me the way she does. I didn't buy much, just a piece every once in a while. It looked like a bargain.
And that's where you met this woman, huh?
Yes.
Where was she living, do you know?
Had a room at a hotel in Hollywood, the Count George.
Mm-hmm. So go ahead, Mr. Craner. What happened next?
Well, we got to be pretty good friends, and one night she offered to put me in touch with a couple of guys she knew who said they were interested in buying some real estate and that I might as well handle the deal. Well, that's how I met up with the Bonhams.
Yes, sir.
We went out to their apartment. They're having a little party. A couple more girls were there. On a Friday night, I guess we all got kind of loaded. Next thing I knew, we were all flying down to Vegas for the weekend. Well, we sure had quite a time for ourselves. Stopped at one of the best hotels, Chateau Lafayette. Everybody making a big fuss like the Bonhams were VIPs.
Yeah.
After that, we had some deals together. Most of them worked out. Whenever they didn't, the Bonhams took care of me anyhow.
What kind of deals? Mr. Craner?
I guess maybe they weren't, strictly ethical, but there wasn't anything illegal about it.
Mm-hmm.
You've got to cut a couple of corners if you're going to get ahead in this world.
Is that right?
I'm getting a little tired of this, Sergeant.
Sir?
You act like I'm at fault, like I'm the one who's in the wrong. Now, you remember it was me that got swindled in $40,000 worth.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not the criminal, you know. They are.
Sure.
You want to tell us about the $40,000, Mr. Craner?
If you're all through with these accusations.
Go ahead, Mr. Craner.
All right. It was last Tuesday. Phil Bonham called me at my office. Said he had to see me right away about a proposition, a really big one.
Mm-hmm.
We met for lunch. Bonham said they'd just had word from one of their contacts in Las Vegas. A couple of Eastern gamblers had tapped the casino of the Chateau Lafayette for $250,000.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the Chateau needed some money, and they needed it fast. So the owners were willing to sell a 5% interest in the hotel for $100,000. Now, Phil said it was a cinch that we'd get our investment back inside of 6 months, and from then on, it was just gravy. Everybody knows how much those hotels in Las Vegas make.
So you gave him the money?
Yes, I drew it out of the bank that afternoon. Had to be in cash.
Did you know the denominations of the bill?
They're all hundreds.
Mm-hmm. What happened then?
I went back to the office, and the Bonhams took off for Las Vegas. At least that's what they were supposed to do. They said they'd call me from there. But when I still hadn't heard anything by Friday, I went over to their apartment and talked to the manager. He said they'd moved out Tuesday at 5 p.m.
Why didn't you get in touch with us then?
They didn't seem like crooks, not a bit.
What were they like?
Well, what?
Would you describe them for us?
Well, Philip's the oldest. He's about 45.
Mm-hmm.
Light hair, complexion.
How big is he?
Tall, about 6 foot man. Thin, sort of rangy.
Mm. What about his brother?
Oh, Steve's maybe 3 or 4 years younger. A little shorter, not much though. A little heavier.
What color is his hair?
Reddish kind.
The girl who introduced you to him, you said her name was Barbara Wist?
Yes, that's right.
How do you spell that?
W-I-S-T.
You want to describe her, too?
Well, it's pretty hard to say how old she is. I'm not very good at judging a woman's age.
Well, approximately, then.
Oh, 28, 29, 30. Could even be 35.
Mm-hmm.
Blonde, real white streak across the front, very attractive. Good company, nice build. Well, you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm. Have you tried to get in touch with her since you saw the Bonhams last?
Yes, I called the hotel.
Well?
She moved out last Thursday morning.
Mm-hmm.
Well, how are you supposed to know?
What?
Well, who to trust? They were so darn nice to me, the Bonhams and Barbara. There wasn't any way of figuring that what they were after. They, like you say, that they were just kind of setting me up.
Mm-hmm. But you had a tip-off.
Yes? Well, when?
When you thought you were getting something for nothing. 3:08 p.m. We ran the names Philip and Steve Bonham and Barbara Wist through R&I. They had nothing on them. We went back to the office and showed the victim mug shots of known confidence men. He was unable to identify any of the photographs. 3:32 p.m. We showed him mugs of confidence women.
No, not on that page, Sergeant.
Uh-huh.
Sergeant, my wife won't find out about all this, will she?
Not from us.
We haven't been getting along for quite a while, but, well, you know, she just wouldn't understand.
Mm-hmm.
Funny, aren't they?
How's that?
Women, even if they won't have anything to do with you themselves, they just don't want another day moving in.
Want to go on to the next page?
Oh, yeah, sure. Say now.
Yeah?
That looks like her.
Well, is it?
No, I guess not. There's something different there. Sure is a resemblance, though.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody on this page. Now, wait a minute. That was her.
Where?
Here, right here, the one I pointed out before.
Oh, I see.
That's Barbara, all right there.
You said there was something different about this woman, didn't you?
Well, there is, but now that I think about it, any gal's apt to do that.
Do what?
Dye her hair.
The victim was positive in his identification of the photograph. Frank and I pulled the woman's package. Her true name was Mabel Salton, WFA, 36 years old, 5 feet 4, weighed 117 pounds, blue eyes, brunette hair. Her record showed 2 convictions for grand theft and an arrest for suspicion of theft the previous June. 4:15 p.m. We talked to Johnny DeBetta, the officer who had made the June arrest.
Yeah, that's right, Joe. Van and I pulled her in. We couldn't make it stick, though.
Why not?
Well, the victim gave us an ident, but we didn't have enough to hold her on. All she did was introduce the mark to a couple of con men. They did the taking.
Mm-hmm.
We couldn't prove that she was in on it. The sucker hadn't given her the money.
Yeah. Wouldn't cop out either.
She's a looker, not a talker. I'd rather tackle a guy any time than a dame like that. Once he decides to keep her mouth shut, he can't get it open with a pair of pliers.
What about the guys he was working with?
A couple of brothers. Don't remember the names they used offhand. It's in the file, so.
Any leads to him?
Description, M.O. We put out a local and ATB. We couldn't turn them up, though. They must have skipped town.
I see.
They had her tailed for a while, see if she'd lead us to them.
Yeah.
Nowhere. That's where we ended up. They back in L.A.?
They were last week.
Make another pigeon?
Yeah.
And I hope you have better luck than we did.
Yeah, we're going to need it. If they've moved on, they won't be very easy to catch up with.
Oh?
They got a lot of traveling money.
Oh, yeah?
$40,000. Frank and I put out a local and an APB on the 2 male suspects. We also put out a bulletin on the female suspect, Mabel Salton. But we requested that in her case, no arrest be made. We asked to be contacted in the event that she was located. From Johnny DeBetta, we learned that the Salton woman had also met the previous victim at an auction. Auctioneers and owners of auction houses were told to notify us if they saw the suspect. We talked to the manager of the apartment where the male suspects had lived and to check the clerk at the Count George Hotel. They were unable to help us. We contacted Las Vegas and learned that the Chateau Lafayette was in excellent financial condition. We also contacted CII up at Sacramento to see if they could give us an identification of the male suspects. We received a negative response. No new leads developed. 5 weeks passed. Wednesday, October 19th, 9:46 a.m. Bunko fugitive Friday. Yes, sir. That's right. When? I see. Thank you very much. Goodbye. Tencher Auction House out on 3rd Street. Yeah?
Auctioneer says he sold a couple of lamps to an old customer last night.
Who?
Mabel Salton. out to the Tencher Auction Gallery on West 3rd. We showed the auctioneer a mugshot of Mabel Salton, and he said he was positive she was the woman he had seen the previous night. We went back to the office and had a conference with the skipper.
You sure picking her up won't do any good?
Well, I did before, Captain.
Yeah.
Of course, this might not work either. We don't even know if her pals are back in town.
Well, how do you plan to make the contact?
Hang out at auctions, do a lot of bidding, let her think I'm loaded.
I don't know. May it be better if Smith went undercover this time. He looks more like a mark to me.
Well, wait a minute, Skipper.
Oh, you know what I mean.
Well, I know. I'm afraid using Smith would give us a problem, Captain.
Yeah?
Take another look at her picture.
Not bad, is she?
No, that's the trouble. Smith's got a wife. Arrangements were made for me to assume the name of Joe Fawcett. I took a room at a hotel in Hollywood and established myself as a businessman recently arrived from Chicago. Auction houses were told that I would be bidding on various items, and if my bid was accepted, the item was to be re-auctioned at some future date, and any loss incurred would be made good. During the next week, I attended 4 auctions. The woman suspect, Mabel Salton, was present at 2 of them. Thursday, October 27th, 9:42 p.m., I attended the 5th auction. It was at the Tencher Galleries. I managed to get a seat next to the suspect.
I have $45. I have $25. Who'll make it 30? Who'll make it 30? Come on, ladies and gentlemen. A mirror like this costs over $100 in any retail store. 25. Who'll give 30?
30.
Don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, this mirror belongs to one of America's most glamorous actresses, Miss Nora Wexler. You've all seen her dozens of times on the screen. Here's your chance to buy one of her personal possessions. And don't forget where this mirror was hung. In Nora's bedroom. All right, now who'll make it 30? I have 25. Who'll give 30?
30 here.
Thank you, sir. There's a gentleman who appreciates the finer things. I have 30. I have 30. Going once, that 30.
35.
35. Who'll give 40? 35. Who'll give 40? How about it, sir? Don't let the little lady take it away from you.
If you really want it, it doesn't matter that much to me.
Well, that's very kind of you.
Are you all done? 35 once, 35 twice. So, the way to 35. And now, ladies and gentlemen, our next item is a very unusual piece. It was designed as
Thanks for letting my gift stand.
That's all right. Forget it.
If there's any way I can pay you back, maybe you'd let me buy you a drink after the auction.
No, that isn't necessary. I didn't really want that mirror anyway.
I'd like to. Unless you're busy.
No, not a bit. You got a customer.
Now, you see how hard it is for them to lift it? Shows you the quality of the model. All right, boys, better set it down now again before you strain yourself.
Haven't you done some of the other sales?
A couple of them, yeah.
I thought you looked familiar. Come to think of it, I remember the things you bought.
Is that right?
You have very good taste.
Thank you. Magnificent center of attention. This is the table for you. The lace is solid brass. Cut especially.
I just love these auctions. Of course, I always end up buying a lot of things I don't need.
Well, that happens to me, too.
And afterwards, you feel so darn foolish, but there's nothing you can do. By then, it's too late.
Yeah, same here.
Well, that's true. If you properly treated first. But this table will never show a stain no matter what you
Yes, we have something in common, don't we, Mr.
Joe Fawcett.
I'm Mona Eastman.
How do you do?
Very nice to meet you, Mr. Fawcett.
No, the pleasure's all mine. 11:16 p.m. We left the auction and drove over to the suspect's apartment. It was on the second floor of a 2-story building just off Olympic Boulevard.
Bar's right over there, Joe. You'll take charge when I get out of my coat.
You bet. Scotch or bourbon?
It doesn't matter. Whatever you're having.
Hey.
Is the ice all melted?
No, there's a little left here.
That's good. I'm really awfully glad you could drop by.
So am I. Where's your drink?
Okay. Well, cheers.
Cheers. Strong enough for you?
That's just the way I like it. Why don't we sit down?
Sure.
Where's your home, Joe?
Well, I really don't have one yet.
Oh?
I got a hotel room over in Hollywood. I've been staying there for the last few days.
What about all these things you've been buying? The auction?
Oh, they're all for my new place. It hasn't come out of escrow yet.
I see.
It's out in Bel Air. Wish they'd hurry up and let me move in. For all I know, I may be getting too much stuff. I don't know what you need to furnish your house.
Well, isn't your wife?
Oh, I'm not married, Mona. Not anymore.
Oh, I see.
We broke up about a year ago.
Funny.
What's that?
That's when it happened to me. Just a year ago.
Is that so?
Maybe we have a little too much in common.
Yeah.
She hurt you, didn't she, Joe?
Well...
I can see it in your eyes. You have very sad eyes. And soft and thoughtful.
Oh, I don't know.
I think you can tell a lot about a person from your eyes.
You do, huh?
That's the first thing I notice about somebody. What do you notice, Joe?
Well, I guess I never thought too much about it, tell you the truth.
What'd you notice first with me? Well?
Well, I guess it was your voice.
Oh?
You know, when you were bidding, I think that's what I noticed first.
I don't know whether that's a compliment or not.
Well, you have a very pleasant voice, Mona. Very pleasant.
George didn't think so.
Who?
My husband.
Oh.
He said I whined and nagged and made life miserable for him. Why'd you split up?
Just didn't work out.
You think you'll ever try it again?
Oh, I don't know. It's pretty hard to say.
Yeah, I feel the same way. Well, I guess lots of people make mistakes.
Yeah, sure.
You need a freshener?
No, I have plenty here. Fix you up?
Yes, please. You don't drink very much, do you?
No, I just don't feel like it tonight.
No. Is it the company?
No, of course not.
I'm sorry if I, sort of forced you into taking me home.
Why, don't be silly.
I just felt it. Well, you didn't look very happy, and I thought maybe we both needed to be with someone else for a change.
Sure. Yeah.
Thanks. What line are you in, Joe?
What's that?
What's your business?
Well, nothing right now. I guess you might say I'm unemployed.
What?
I had a company of my own back in Chicago. Textile manufacturing. I sold it when we split up.
What are you going to do now?
Oh, I'm sort of looking around. I got a little cash and to get by on.
Oh?
If the right thing turns up, I guess I might go into it.
I suppose it's hard to tell what to put your money into nowadays.
Yeah, well, there's no hurry.
You know, that reminds me. If you really do want to get into something good,
yeah,
I know a couple of businessmen. Oh, they're not close friends or anything like that, but they have some excellent contacts.
Is that so?
I'm sure they could put you into something that would give you a nice return on your investment.
Well, this wouldn't do any harm to talk to them, would it?
I'm afraid you can't right now.
Why not?
They're out of town. Too bad, isn't it?
Yeah, sure is. The Salton woman told me she'd let me know as soon as her friends returned to Los Angeles. During the next 10 days, I saw her on several occasions. As far as I could tell, the so-called Bonham brothers were still out of town. Tuesday, November 8th, 8:40 p.m. I was in my hotel room. Hello? Yes, Mona. Well, how about tonight? Sure, I'll pick you up. About 9:30? Fine. Bye. You want to get me Michigan 5211, please? That's right. Extension 2572. That's right. Extension 2572. Smith there? This is Joe. Yeah, I just heard from her. Better get hold of the bed and have him stand by. Tonight. Says they just blew into town. Over the phone, the Salton woman had told me her two business acquaintances had returned to Los Angeles. I was to meet them that night. Frank and Johnny DeBetta made arrangements to tail my car. 9:28 p.m. I picked up the female suspect. She told me her friends had rooms in the St. Clair Hotel over on Figueroa. We drove over there. It was 9:42 when we arrived. We went up to room 417. She introduced me to two men who matched the description of the male suspects we were looking for. They said their names were Tom and Fred Porst.
Sure is nice to meet you, Mr. Fawcett. Mona's been telling us about you. It seems you've made quite a hit with her.
Is that so? She told me about you fellas, too.
Now you've got to understand one thing.
What's that?
Anything we discuss in the business line, that is, well, it's got to be confidential.
Well, sure.
You see, my brother and I, we don't make a practice of taking outside investments, right, Fred?
Right.
Matter of fact, we don't even need any outside capital at the moment. We've sort of got a surplus.
Oh, I see. Well, maybe some other time then, huh? Nice to have met you.
What's your hurry, Fawcett?
Well, you said that...
I said we don't need any capital.
You know.
Well, we might make an exception in your case, though.
Oh?
On account of Mona.
Well, I don't want you to put yourselves out. Something else will turn up.
Now, wait a minute. I was just thinking.
What's that?
Well, it never hurts to spread a good thing around. You got any plans for this Saturday?
Well, I don't know. What you have in mind?
Well, I thought we might fly down to Vegas. Get us a couple of girls. You can bring along Mona.
Why Vegas?
Oh, we got a friend down there. He made a killing at the crap tables a couple of years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Stuck it in $1,000 bill.
Oh?
Now, he sort of forgot to mention it on his income tax, and now he could use the loot, but he's afraid to cash in the bills himself.
Yeah, I see.
He might be willing to sell them to us at a discount. Are you interested?
No, not very.
Why not?
An old con game like that?
What?
Was this the best you can do? The $1,000 bill routine's got whiskers on it. I should have known.
What are you talking about? How would you know? Listen, Fawcett, what are you doing here anyway? Why'd you want to meet us?
I was kind of curious about how you boys work. I heard a lot about you.
Huh?
Thought maybe I could pick up a new angle or two. Looks like I was wrong.
Well, what's the show? Oh, don't you see? He was just checking up on our pitch. Yeah? Well, he's a con man, too. Oh, you really pulled one this time, Mona, picking a pro for a mark.
How was I supposed to know?
Well, just one look. You should have been able to tell places a nose on your face.
It is, huh?
Sure. Don't take it to heart, buddy. You might fool the suckers, but I'm in the same racket. Well, I should have guessed it when you walked in the door. It's written all over you.
Yeah.
Where you been pitching lately?
City Hall.
Huh?
I'm a police officer. You're under arrest.
The story you've just heard is true. The names were changed to protect the innocent. On February 2nd, trial was held in Department 98, Superior Court of the State of California, in and for the County of Los Angeles. In a moment, the results of that trial. Mabel Harris Salton was tried and convicted of grand theft, 1 count, and received sentence as prescribed by law. Thomas Herbert Forst and Fred James Forst, alias Philip and Steve Bonham, were tried and convicted of grand theft, 2 counts, and received sentence as prescribed by law. Grand theft is punishable by imprisonment in the county jail for not more than 1 year, or in the state prison for not less than 1, nor more than 10 years.